history starts tonight as the two final teams that remain in the Pacific Hockey League go head-to-head in a historic best-of-3 championship series to decide the winner of the Walker Cup. Good evening, everybody across Australia, and welcome inside Ice HQ in Melbourne, Victoria. My name is Eric Ballnar, calling all the action for you this weekend, joined by resident IHSQ expert and player extraordinaire, Anton Goss. Anton, big weekend ahead of us.
Super excited. We've had one hell of a season this year. Started off actually in this barn with these two teams, and it was an absolute scorcher. 2 games, 1 goal deciding them, and the 2 Dawes time periods with less than 30 seconds left to score to finish both of them.
And in those games, the Melbourne Ducks went ahead on the PHL ladder. They went to first place with those 2 wins and 6 points. And you know what? They didn't relinquish that from there because they built a whole brand of hockey based on some physical play.
That's for sure. One word you can use to call these Ducks, and that's truculence. It's the physical, punishing, ruthless style, very much North American style of play. They hit you in the corners. It's the second, third efforts, and they just keep punishing you on the scoreline as well. It's a team you definitely don't like to play against, and when they're on, you're having to look over your shoulder because you just hear footsteps each and every time.
They're big, they're strong, they're physical, and they create off of some great structure. Wire-to-wire leaders this year. They went up in the first round, and they didn't relinquish first place from there, earning a bye all the way to the final. And they have a team loaded with talent that can hurt you in all kinds of ways.
That's for sure. Hayden Dawes, we spoke about it before, the big body. If he's not punishing you in the corners, he's putting the puck in the net. Leading goal scorer for the season this year, leading the PHL. He's buoyed with players like Liam Webster, 4 national championships, able to feed him the puck. And they're going to be joined on a line today by the young star Brody Lindell, who's come out and scored 5 goals in the last 4 games here for the Ducks.
No team has scored more goals than the Ducks, but countering them is the Adelaide Avalanche, and they play a much more European style, and they are a team that thrives on the broken play. They create turnovers that create opportunities. Jake Riley going top corner while shorthanded. A relentless forecheck from guys like Joey McDougall that find players in front of the net that can pop them home. They're a team that you can't make a mistake about because they can find the flaw in your system, break that system, and make you pay for it. They're also a very quick team, so anytime that they create a mistake, not only can they capitalize, but they can surge back up the ice. Anton, you talk about them a lot. They're a team that loves to fly through the neutral zone.
That's for sure. Just like this, I love Jamie Woodman. He can pick up the puck in his own zone and carry it all the way end to end. You need players like that, players like Woodman, players like Sack, players like Riley to break that forecheck of the Ducks and really push the Ducks back and use that space in the neutral zone and then be able to finish just like that.
The Adelaide Avalanche and the Melbourne Ducks, they've gone head-to-head on 3 different occasions, or 6 different occasions, sorry. Adelaide has won 2 of those games. The Ducks have won 4 of those games. 1 of them did go to overtime. They've been some exciting contests, bar probably 1 game this year. It's been close between these 2 teams.
That's for sure, and no more exciting than, as I mentioned on the top of the broadcast, that first game where we nicknamed the last minute of the game Dawes time, right? Where he scored last minute 2 goals and game winners to go 2-0 on the season. But Jake Riley did it himself here last time in Melbourne with just under 2 minutes left. He batted one out of the air and was able to get the win. So you know this game's going to be close, and that's the guy that I'm looking for the most, Jake Riley. He is coming off back-to-back hat tricks. He's the hottest guy in the league right now, and you can see just from there, he knows how to score against the Ducks.
Meanwhile, on the Ducks side, a guy that can shut him down might be Michael McMahon. You can see him on the top of your screen, number 25. Man, I wish Carl Brewer was here right now. He normally calls the Duck games because he would have a million things to say about this guy. Michael McMahon, on this play, he broke his stick. He goes by and he skates by the bench, picks it up, and cuts the player off in front of him. Michael McMahon has been huge for the Ducks this year. What has he meant from the organization that you've seen on the ice this year?
Absolute leader. You know, the Ducks have this great mix of veteran players and young players, and you need guys like McMahon who really can keep that calm spirit in and let the team know what you need to do at the right time to win games.
You take a look at the average ages of the team. In Adelaide, they're a lot younger than the Ducks, but don't be fooled really by the age of the Ducks. They're not that old and slow team that you might might think by looking at the roster.
You're absolutely right. They've got speed, and they've balanced the line so well that you never know what's going to hit you. Carl, as you mentioned, he loves to call Hayden Dawes as the great white shark. He's out there just looking to pounce, and joining him tonight, as I mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, is Brody Lindell, who goes end to end and loves to be on the play on the best players of the opposition.
So many scoring options on this Ducks team as they're ready to take the ice at home. Anton, for you, as a guy that's analyzed this Ducks team all season long, we know that Hayden Dawes can score goals. He led the competition with 24. Who's that player for you that we're going to look at the score sheet and maybe be surprised, but you won't be when he scored 3 goals at the end of the weekend?
That's for sure. We talked about it off air. Is Ryan Ruddle scores in bunches. So if he gets one here early, you're almost guaranteed he's going to get a hat trick. And he's one I love calling his name. And a little shout out to his parents. I know they always watch back in New Zealand, and they'd be watching this game and hoping that their son gets another hat trick tonight.
Adelaide, now they're number 2 in the league in scoring. The Ducks are number 1. Adelaide number 1 in the league in defense. The Ducks are number 2. Adelaide with the number 1 PK. The Ducks the number 1 penalty kill. Or the number 1 power play, rather. Adelaide has been the best team since round 3. They're the hottest team coming in. The Ducks have been the best team all season long. On paper, it doesn't really feel like there's much between these teams at all.
No, not at all. And I think the thing that we have to talk about always is the goaltenders. We're looking at arguably the 2 best goaltenders in the league. And I'd like to give a little shout out to Nick Novosedlak, obviously leading save getter. But these 2 make it look easy, effortless. They're just in the right place at the right time, and the puck just seems to stick to them. You saw that last week, I think second period. Jeremy Frederick made that amazing save on Sobchak early in the second, and that was what allowed the Avalanche to snuck out.
That man, Dane Davis, originally from Canada, he's now Australian. He's been here for over a decade. He's literally won everything.
Yeah, you're right. He's 3-4 in championship play matches here in Australia. So when the big game's on the line, he's the guy you want. But Jeremy, he's won everything as a young player, and it's almost like he's up against the final boss in the video game, right? He's won it as a junior, he's won it at all different levels, and now his chance is to look down the ice, see arguably the best goalie here in the country, and say, I want your job.
If Dane Davis is the king, then Jeremy Friedrich is almost the prince. Both these goaltenders in the last 6 weeks have been dominant in their last 6 starts. Dane Davis has a .936 save percentage during that time. Jeremy Friedrich with a .925. Friedrich's goals against average in that span, 191. Dane Davis, 240. Both these goalies on top of their game. Adelaide got here by winning 11-2 over Brisbane. They went up 3-1 after the first period. Jake Riley scored with 9 seconds left, and then they started to run away with it in the second. By the end of that period, it was 6-1, and by the time they went to bed, Adelaide had punched their ticket to a best-of-3 series. If you're not familiar with the best-of-3 series, it's pretty simple. First one to win 2 games takes it all. It'll be Adelaide versus the Melbourne Ducks. It's Eric Balnar and Anton Goss. Let's throw it down to Anton on the ice right now.
It's very fitting today that we have these 2 teams here battling it out for the grand final. I remember weeks ago, the very first game of the season. These 2 teams played out one of the best series, and for the home team, I think you guys really liked that one, right? With a couple late winners by Dawsey. But we've had an absolute brilliant season, and the Adelaide Avalanche are fresh off an amazing battle against the Brisbane Rampage and deserve to be here, the 2 best teams. So today, we want to thank every one of you to come out here tonight as we're going to be about to witness the first inaugural Pacific League hockey champions. Who's ready? Let's go one more time, guys. Who's ready? There we go. I know these guys are ready. We can see it on the faces.
All right. Can I please ask the captains of both teams to come forward for the ceremonial puck drop? And today we'll have Isaac Morrison of the Brisbane Rampage performing said puck drop.
Well, great words as always from you, Anton Goss, before the game. It's been a big season. As Isaac Morrison, one of the directors of the league and the director of the Brisbane Rampage, will drop the puck, and we don't have too much to go, so welcome inside Ice HQ, the land of the Wurundjeri Wurrung people. It is the Pacific Hockey League final, a best-of-3 series between the Adelaide Avalanche and the Melbourne Ducks going head-to-head to take home the first ever Walker Cup. The champion of the Pacific Hockey League will be crowned this weekend, and it all starts tonight. Thank you so much for joining us wherever you are watching from around the country, whether it be on the stream or whether you're watching on Channel 31 and Channel 34. We're moments away from puck drop. We'll get the teams to you in a second. And here we go.
Oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free, with golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our lands abound in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains that let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Well, once again,
All right, ladies and gentlemen,
welcome inside Ice HQ. It's time for Game 1 of the 2022 Walker Cup Final. The minor premiers, the Melbourne Ducks, the host. They're welcoming the visitors, the Adelaide Avalanche. Like you said, Anton Goss, a very truculent, a very physical, strong, goal-scoring team in the Ducks versus a very pesky, system-breaking Adelaide Avalanche side. There's not much between the teams. Anton, final thoughts before puck drop.
It's all about who's going to start on time there, Eric. Both these guys are putting out their best lines out here. Showtime McDougall out there, captain of the Adelaide Avalanche. The last time he was in town, he got under the skin of the Ducks. And they're starting out with their own pesky little forward up there, Brody Lindell. This guy's a game breaker, and in the last 3 games he's played here at home, he's had a shot off the first 2 minutes of the first 20 seconds of the game. Let's see if he can finally put one in the first minute.
This Melbourne Ducks team is effectively an all-star team of Victorian players. Meanwhile, Adelaide are playing in their first grand final in 12 years, and Jamie Woodman, the smooth-skating Western Australian, flicks one forward to the glove of Dane Davis, and it takes 8 seconds for our first whistle, but hey, we're in the game.
That's for sure, Eric. I'll tell you what, as a goalie myself, you don't mind those. You like to feel the puck a little bit early. That's exactly what Dane would want. And that Venus flytrap he has on his hand, that's going to eat up every shot that comes down that way.
Nathaniel Benson, one of the young guns, versus Liam Webster, and Webster wins that draw cleanly. Michael McMahon plays this around the corner as Troy Robertson will try to chip it up, but he gives it away. Joey McDougall tries to slap one in front of the net, and Robertson will steer McDougall into the corner. Loose puck in front. Adelaide with a quick opportunity in the slot, and the Ducks will be able to clear it via Liam Webster. Down the left wing, the young gun on the left side tries to center it, looking for Webster again as it gets trickled back out into the neutral zone. Michael McMahon, the captain of the Ducks, one of the best defensemen in the country, a mainstay on the Australian national team. There's his defense partner, Jamie Woodman, sauces it across to the right side as Troy Robertson leads Webster ahead. The team leader in assists, Liam Webster, superstar veteran of the game, sends it just high and out of play.
That's for sure. That's a great start for both teams. Lots of chances. We talked about it. Sometimes teams like to ease in, grand final, don't want to make mistakes, but there were plenty of mistakes and plenty of opportunities, but we're still yet to see that first goal.
Both teams will roll probably 3 lines each and a couple defense pairings. In Australian hockey, you tend to shorten the bench a little bit, and Jeremy Friedrich makes his first save of the game, so both goaltenders are into the grand final just a minute into the game. Todd Cutter will take the draw. Both teams so much depth, but neither team really that familiar with their full-strength version of each other. So much has changed since round 1. Cycling in his own end is Vilnak. Back to the right point, Jack Carpenter shoots one through traffic as it tips into the corner. Ryan Ruddle trying to dig this one out. He's working against Andrew Chen, cutting to the front of the net and using that size again, but Jeremy Friedrich well into the game now with some sustained Ducks pressure.
Yeah, I like this line that Pat's put together for the Ducks. Hector Vrolnik, very creative with the puck. And Ryan Ruddle, as I mentioned, he knows how to score goals. But having Cutter on that also just gives a little bit of that grittiness that you need to really hunt down and get the puck out of those corners. So I'd be interested to see how that plays out for the rest of the game.
Adelaide sends their third line out for the first time this game. Puck just a little bit too far for Steve Best. That will go for icing. Both teams with 3 solid forward lines, and the third line of both teams probably have an energy line. For Adelaide, it's Noah Maley and Tom Sack. For the Ducks, they've got their kids as well.
That's for sure. This line coming out, the third line for the Ducks, they played with each other as youngsters so much, and they play all together in beer league as well. They know each other, Koenig, Stringer, and Tashuma. And one thing I can tell you is they're going to hunt for every single puck like a dog with a bone.
Best up the right side, flicks it forward to the left wing. He's looking for Tom Sack. Sack grinds his way back in the corner. A big hit laid, and the physicality already starting to ramp up. Corey Stringer, Adelaide born, Adelaide bred, grew up playing in South Australia. He has the puck behind the net, dropped off to the right side, and they almost had their first goal of the game. Really solid opportunity. Alex Koenig curls it around in the corner, and the Ducks will grind away at it. Adelaide tries to poke it free. Steve Best will take it on his stick and flick it off to his off wing. Robertson plays it off, dumps it in behind the boards. Jake Hazel trying to hunt him down as Byron Tashuma bringing that energy line. Puck grounded away in the corner, back to the point, long shot on target, and it was a great first opportunity. There was Lindell. He scored in his last 4 games, has the puck swiped away from him and in behind the goal. Jamie Woodman.
Here's the silkiness of Woodman, and they've drawn a penalty here, so the Ducks will be going shorthanded when they touch the puck. But just before that, that shift by that Ducks third line, that was that forecheck I told you about. They like to get the puck deep, they like to move it. They had some great offensive pressure, but the Avalanche are going to get to come out of here now through Riley.
Jake Riley bursts through the neutral zone, backhanded play, rebound in tight. Dane Davis was looking for it. He got his glove on it, but Adelaide's special teams will go to work for the first time tonight.
Oh, that was the first sighting of the Jets of Jake Riley there. He just went end to end and just flew down the way and nearly caught that one past Dane, but Dane closed the wickets and made sure that didn't pop through.
Adelaide's power play the worst in the Pacific Hockey League. They haven't got a whole lot of rhythm going, at least on a consistent basis this season. A clip of about 14% on the year, which, if you watch a lot of hockey, that is not ideal. Jamie Woodman chips it down to Darren Korstens. Korstens finds Benson on the side of the net. It goes off the post. Rebound pops free. Korstens flicks it back to Jake Riley. Riley stopping, has the puck blocked away, and Liam Webster will play this down the ice. Think back to round 1 between these teams. The Ducks won 2 games by 1 goal, and they scored 2 shorthanded goals in both of those games. So, special teams will be a telling factor in this series. Woodman cuts to the side of the net. It's behind Davis, but it's also behind the net, and Michael McMahon can't quite clear the zone. Riley chips it back behind the goal. Adelaide's leading goalman, Johan Levesque, finds Darren Korstens, sauces it off to the right point for Jake Riley, who slashes it forward. Levesque trying to find the puck. He tries to settle it down, back to the point for Riley, tipped across. Circling back is Benson through traffic, tipped down low, rebound, scores! Johan Levesque with the first goal of the series.
Great job there by the Avalanche, and it really started earlier in that play where Jake Riley batted it out of the air at the blue line to keep that in, cycled it down low, and who else, right? Adelaide Avalanche, leading scorer, Joey Quebec. Look at the smile on his face. No one likes to score goals more than that guy.
Johan Levesque all season long has been right place, right time, and that is a goal scorer's goal, banking home a rebound on Dane Davis. And Adelaide have the early 1-0 lead just 3.5 minutes into the game. Trying to respond and get another one. It was Zach Steele barreling down, and Dane Davis just robbed it away from making it a 2-0 game. It was Johan Levesque. He talks about setting a standard of how this team plays all season long, and that's exactly what he's done for Adelaide. He's put his team in front. Off the draw again. Ducks win it. Michael McMahon, his defense partner Troy Robertson this weekend. Both very experienced players in the AIHL, and they've made the move to the PHL and have loved it. Robertson centering play, trying to find Tashuma. That's tipped back into the neutral zone. Corey Stringer will dump this into the zone. Chasing after this are the Ducks. Byron Tashuma, this third line, trying to create a little bit of energy. Robertson can't hold on to it, and Steve Best will just rake this in behind the goal. Will be settled down by Dane Davis. Michael McMahon tips it up into the point, and Adelaide plays this back behind the goal. Michael McMahon has this chipped off by Nathaniel Benson. Daniel Chen trying to get towards the puck. He curls in, tries to get a shot on goal. He draws a penalty at the very least. And Michael McMahon, probably their most important defenseman, I think is going to get 2 minutes for tripping. And Daniel Chen kept those feet moving. And Adelaide, who just scored on the power play, are going to get that chance again.
We've seen this a few times here, Eric, where we start to see a little bit of the parade to the penalty box by the Ducks. And that's another penalty that, the captain wouldn't want to take. But, the Ducks haven't had an answer to that forecheck there of the Avalanche.
Adelaide's power play hasn't been great all year, but it started off pretty well in the championship series. Ducks win the draw, and they get it all the way down the ice. Jamie Woodman. Adelaide 10-2 with Jamie Woodman in the lineup, 0-6 without him. You can make it 11-2 after the preliminary final win. Arguably Adelaide's most valuable player, Jake Riley, across the wing again. It's a big blocker save from Davis. Puck popped down, and the Ducks will find it via Hayden Dawes, who will send this all the way down the ice. I think that hit the back meshing as well, so we'll get a stoppage in play. Shots on goal just 3-2 early in these games. It's a high volume shot leaks. That's a low start.
That's for sure. I mean, there's been plenty of action in the zones. There's just a little bit of a conversation going out on the ice here as Hayden Dawes cleared that out, and the Adelaide Avalanche are saying it went all the way out, and being in the defensive zone, that's borderline delay a game. But the official saying it had been past the blue line, and there'll be no penalty to the Ducks for this fans can take a little sigh of relief for the home fans, I think.
Darren Korstens plays it off to the right wing. Adelaide trying to chip this one forward as it goes all the way back down. So the Ducks setting up a bit of a wall, and now they got a shorthanded break. It's Webster trying to cut in front of the net, but he runs into Jamie Woodman, a name you'll hear called a lot this weekend.
That's for sure. Who else but Jamie Woodman, right?
Nathaniel Benson off to Woodman. Woodman onto the backhand. Loves to skate it in behind the net. That pops free to Darren Korstens. Woodman now taking position behind the net. Benson calling for it. Woodman still behind the goal. Ducks player draped all over him as Woodman barrels into Trevor Leo. Centering play in the slot. Riley fires. That one whistled wide. He had Davis down. Levesque, the goal scorer, back to the right point for Woodman. Woodman through traffic, scores! It's tipped by Johan Levesque, and Adelaide have a 2-0 lead.
Carbon copy of the last one, Eric? Keep the puck in on the point, throw it in net, and Johan Levesque gets his second, and Dane just lost it there. He thought he had it there, and I'm sympathetic for the man. Just went past his arm, went off the post, and dropped there in behind him.
Did that tip off Darren Korstens as well? Or did that just go through Davis? I don't even know if that got tipped.
Yeah, I think, great job there. If you look, Korstens just gets in the face of Dane Davis. He probably just lost sight of it for a second, and next thing you know, it's in the back of the net. So this is not the start you wanted if you're a Melbourne Ducks fan. But the Adelaide Avalanche are starting hot and heavy.
I talked to Jamie Woodman before the game. I had some lunch with him, and he said, I'm not going to score a goal on Dane. 6 minutes into it, he's got one. But here come the Ducks on the other end. It's Vrelnak who tips it into the corner. That Jamie Woodman point shot has put Adelaide up 2-0. Daniel Chen enters the zone, curls around, and it's a great defensive play by Robertson to take it away. He'll send Vrelnak on the right wing. He fires the shot, and he just fanned it. It might have been disrupted a little bit by Zach Steele. Adelaide trying to swipe after it, but the Ducks get it in down low and score! The flying Frenchman, Hector Vrelnak, scores a much-needed Ducks goal.
Great job there by the Ducks, and Hector Vrelnak just looked past, probably caught Friedrich cheating just a little bit and went short side there. Great goal scorer's goal there by the Frenchman, and the Ducks are back on the board.
No man has more points versus the Adelaide Avalanche this year than that guy, Hector Vrelnak, the Frenchman, the import who has made such a big difference for the Melbourne Ducks this year. And the Ducks get a much-needed goal after falling behind by 2 early on. Adelaide trying to go back to the attack. Noah Maley on the forecheck. He has to drift away from Trevor Leo. Back in front of the goal, backhanded play. Dane Davis close it down. So Jake Riley picks up his second assist of the game. Andrew Chen had an assist on the Woodman goal. And Adelaide has 2 power play goals to start the game. The league's worst power play is not looking like that at all in this game. They've sort of turned it on. 13 playoff goals scored so far from this Avalanche bunch. But Hector Vrelnek's goal could not come at a better time for the Ducks. Jack Carpenter tries to find a man up the center. He finds Byron Teshuma. And he'll walk in the right side. Stringer popped up in the air, loose puck in front, and Adelaide has to clear it away. Here comes Adelaide. Tom Sack will just throw one in. That gets deflected into the corner. Davis plays this off to McMahon. Jack Carpenter has it taken away from Corstens. Corstens centering play, loose puck, and Adelaide tried to jam away at it. And Dane Davis might have benefited from an early whistle on that. But Adelaide once again showing that system-breaking ability with that Darren Corstens stick that pops free. Shots on goal, 6-5 in favor of the Avalanche, but Levesque and Woodman have them up 2-1. Vrelnek with the other goal.
Each time these teams play, there's ebbs and flows in the game. I mean, you go back to the last time they were here in Melbourne, very similar story. Avalanche got up early, Ducks came back, ended up winning the game. Sunday, opposite story. Ducks get ahead, Avalanche come back in. It's really back and forth, and we're going to continue to see the compete level from these teams as we continue through the period and the rest of the game.
Webster in on the face-off. He's working against Jake Riley. That will be the man they'll have to crack, is Liam Webster in the face-off circle. Brody Lindell, just 16 years old from Canada, who's moved out here. Centering play in front. He almost created it with Hayden Dawes lurking in front. Dawes is centering play. Riley can't clear. Shot on goal, scores! It trickled through Friedrich. And we're all square.
How a game can change just like that. After the Avalanche went up with 5:43 into the game, all it took was 40 seconds for the Ducks to get back in. Fast forward another 40 seconds, it's a 2-2 hockey game, and we're right back to where we started. And who else but Liam Webster? We're lucky we're going to get to have a chat with him later on in the intermission, but this guy knows how to play at the high level, and he's a leader on this team. And look at Brody Lindell giving the smile over to his assistant captain there.
It was Lindell's active stick in front of the net that created the turnover. And Jake Riley, who had 2 assists already on the Adelaide goals, might have just got a third, but probably not in the way that he wanted. So it's 2-2, 8 minutes into the game. People in South Australia were probably going crazy when they saw their team jumpstart the Ducks in their own barn. But we're back to square one. May as well be 0-0. What a start to this game. Puck back behind the net. Jordan Freeman was forward last game, playing defense in this one, and Lindell was just robbed up tight by Jeremy Friedrich. Adelaide clears. I think it got tipped out. No, Adelaide's getting a penalty. Adelaide going to the penalty box. It'll be a delay of game call as that puck just straight shot right through the crowd. I think we're going to get a good look at it. So the Ducks, who have the most lethal power play in the competition, have a chance to score another quick goal to make this one a 3-2 game.
And who comes over the boards but the 3 guys that just got in the back of the net? Hayden Dawes, Liam Webster, and Brody Lindell. The Ducks like to play 2 defensemen on the power play, which is a little bit different than what the Avalanche do. But both those players really know how to get pucks through traffic. None better than Troy Robertson.
McMahon fakes the shot, dishes down low to Webster, who just scored. Standing in front was Hayden Dawes, who almost tipped that one away. Back behind the goal will be Michael McMahon. How this game has turned already. We were wondering at the start of the game if it would take a few minutes for teams to ease into it. Not the case. 2 goals each. And now the Ducks on the power play for the next minute and 32 seconds. Puck lobbed off to the right side. Robertson tries to chip it into the zone, and Lindell will give chase. Jamie Woodman gets there first to cut off the young gun, but he can't clear the zone. McMahon keeps it in, fires one in front of the net, and it was McMahon's shot blocked by Jamie Woodman. two players that might be candidates for Defenseman of the Year. You figure it's one of those two or Emil Goris who will win that award. Awards announced later this weekend. Both of those players, you could probably make a case for MVP as well. I don't think anybody would disagree if that one came out that direction. Ruddle through the neutral zone. Ducks, can they get something set up with only 55 seconds to go on the power play? Ruddle pokes it up and around the boards. Vrelnik trying to hold on to it. Carpenter there in support. He'll curl around Zach Steele, chips it down to the right side for Vrelnik once again. Vrelnik back to the right point. Fires a shot through traffic, and it was tipped by Ruddle and wide. Ruddle scoops up the rebound off the backboard, walks out to the right side, plays it off to the center line for Carpenter, and he almost fanned on the shot, and Jake Riley was lurking away. Webster, chip back down low. Ruddle walking on to the right side, back to the right point once again. Webster tipped down low. Great puck movement from the Ducks with just 15 seconds to go on the power play. Gloved down by Ruddle once again. Leo takes it at the center line, dishes to his off wing for Carpenter. Back to Leo. Leo fans on the shot as the penalty almost coming to an end. Ducks, one last chance to set something up in the corner. Ruddle, shot angle shot. Friedrich looking for it, the net off its bearings, and that will do it for the Melbourne Ducks power play. Some nice puck movement, but they couldn't quite find the back of the net. It's a 2-2 game after Johan Levesque and Jamie Woodman scored in the first 5 minutes for the Avalanche, but just 40 seconds after that, Hector Vrelnik scored to make it 2-1, and then Liam Webster tied it. But at the end of that power play, Adelaide giving the Ducks another opportunity because Zach Steele took a penalty. So the Ducks back to the power play for the second straight time. They're now 0 for 1. You would have just saw that one come to an end. So Adelaide giving a second opportunity to the most lethal team with the man advantage this season. McMahon chips it back down low. McMahon fans on the shot off to the right side. Robertson through traffic, tipped by Hayden Dawes. Team's looking for it behind the net, and Adelaide will scoop it, but not quite out. Michael McMahon, great job to hold the line. Liam Webster, who scored one of those goals, back to McMahon, unloads, tip shot in front, and Jeremy Friedrich's right glove comes away with that one. So some big pressure from the Ducks now, who have 10 shots on goal just halfway through this first period.
The Ducks are back playing the hockey that they're used to. You know, Thursday night game, not many have had, well, none so far this season for either of these teams. And we talked about starting on time. The Avs started on time. The Ducks just showed up 5 minutes late. And since then, the Ducks have had great offensive pressure. And that forecheck, that physical play in the Adelaide zone is forcing the Adelaide Avalanche into these penalties. And if they keep giving the Ducks kicks at the can, they're just going to start potting these ones in.
McMahon holds the line again. Dawes walks in, was looking for a shot. Hayden Dawes was a killer to the Adelaide Avalanche in round number 1, but only 1 goal in his last 4 games versus the Avalanche, and it came to make it 10-3 during the game. So Hayden Dawes is being neutralized by Jamie Woodman lately, but you know he's a player that can really kick it to the next level.
That's for sure. I mean, the thing about Hayden Dawes is, as Carl always says, he's like a great white shark out there. And often you don't see him doing much. He's out there, and next thing you know, he's plastering you on the boards, or he's putting the puck in the back of the net.
Jake Riley wins a draw clean on the PK against Liam Webster, but Brody Lindell on the forecheck takes the puck away. Dawes tries to find the 16-year-old again. Adelaide will chip it out. Well, Michael McMahon's been a bit of a wall on that left defense line, and finally that goes over his stick and out for the Avalanche. Robertson up the boards, tips off a stick, but still is going to be icing, so Adelaide's killed off effectively 3 minutes in a row of Ducks power play time.
They've done a really great job of keeping the Ducks to the outside, but the number 1 penalty killer has been, who else but your goalie, Jeremy Friedrich, making some really great saves that he has there and keeping his team in this game.
Draw on the wrong end of the ice for the Melbourne Ducks, who still have a minute to go on the power play. 2-2 game. Adelaide scored the first 2. Ducks scored the second. This is game 1 of the Pacific Hockey League Championship Series, the Walker Cup Final. Tip back down low. Ducks trying to hold the line. Robertson couldn't quite hold it. He plays it into the boards. Ducks have to reset and get back on side. Gives Adelaide a free opportunity to knock it to the opposite end of the ring. McMahon with a man draped over him, and Darren Corstens has created a turnover, and he'll just send this all the way back to his goalie, and Adelaide doing a really nice job of killing this penalty. Freeman will clear, and the Ducks can scoop it up behind their own goal. Davis drops this off to Jack Carpenter. Carpenter, a longtime player with the Ice before he moved over to the Ducks. Up on the left side, Joey McDougall's there first. Tries to backhand it, but not quite out. Trevor Leo trying to hold the line. Is finally tipped out by the captain, Joey McDougall, with a little bit of help from Nathaniel Benson. Ryan Ruddle, the Kiwi superstar, loves to score some goals. Fires one on net. That hit a stick and bounced just over the tape of Hector Vrelnak. Working down low is Todd Cutter. 3 Avalanche players join the parade in the near corner. Adelaide trying to tip it off the wing. Ducks hold the line, and they'll clear the zone as the penalty comes to an end. So Adelaide survives back-to-back power play opportunities from the #1 power play in the league. Vrelnak, right side, stretch pass. He just missed Todd Cutter, who was streaking down the wing. Jamie Woodman, already with the goal in this game. Lobs one up high. It was a cool little pass, and that's going to go for icing. Trying to get creative, Jamie Woodman.
Yeah, you know, he's so used to just being able to have the space to skate it himself. But he did see Chen up there, and, you know, we've seen that happen often, that little lob pass over the air. Hard to judge it as a defender. And a lucky bounce, you know, Chen would be out. But for the Adelaide Avalanche, they're going to have to do a little more than just lob the puck up there if they're going to beat the Melbourne Ducks off that forecheck.
McDougall flicks it off to the right line as Daniel Chen has the puck tied up in the skates, and Joey McDougall, the captain, will settle things down and play it back to his blue line. Tipped over a skate, Corey Stringer intercepts, and he'll send Byron Tashuma forward. Swiped at the center line by Joey McDougall. Nathaniel Benson, coming off a 4-point night, has a pass over to Joey McDougall. That goes off a skate of Dane Davis and into the corner. Teams grind away at it. Daniel Chen gets bumped off the puck by McMahon. McDougall looking for a centering play. Finds Freeman at the point. Walks around a diving Ducks player, and Dane Davis sticks out that glove hand. So sure-handed, makes the save.
That's for sure. Great little offensive opportunity there for the Avalanche. But if we just rewind a few, maybe 5-10 seconds before that, you can see the Ducks are doing a really good job of closing off the neutral zone. And this is forcing the Avalanche to be creative. So you see on that play, they're being forced to send the puck in deep, gain that offensive control, and really try to have time on attack rather than that rushing play that we talked about pregame, which is crucial for them for their scoring.
Off the turnover, Johan Levesque gets a second opportunity. Adelaide loves to create turnovers, and they forced a few coming off the forecheck. Again, Andrew Chen ties up his man, almost created an opportunity, keeps it in, but relentless stick work from the Adelaide Avalanche. Shots on goal, by the way, even Steven, 10-10, just like the scoreboard.
Nothing to separate these teams, right, Eric? It's been a really high-paced game, and it's almost been many games within a game. We started off very open, lots of ice, speed, every which way you go, and now it's almost like we have a black hole coming in and sucking out any extra space on the ice. It'll be interesting to see if that kind of pace and that physicality continues from both teams.
Carpenter centering play for big Hayden Dawes, and Jamie Woodman cuts him off. You'd suspect Adelaide will be matching Woodman with Dawes as much as they can to neutralize the big threat for the Ducks. Jake Hazel in the corner, just 19 years old, one of the best rising star defensemen in the country. He's got 6 assists in his last 3 games, so that offensive prowess starting to come about. But another young gun, Brody Lindell, takes the puck away behind the net, but Jamie Woodman picks his pocket, and this is good physical play in behind the backboards. A "Let's go Ducks" chant finally echoing around the barn. That's the crowd now into the game. Friedrich aggressively plays this out, and Adelaide will just chip this forward as McMahon comes off the bench and dumps it in behind the goal. Friedrich will settle things down. Woodman loves this skate through the neutral zone, up the center of the ice and into his back wing. And he'll wrap this behind the boards before floating a dangerous puck in front of the net. Steve Best was lurking around, but he couldn't quite get a stick on it. Tom Sack can't hold the line. Here's an opportunity for Cutter. Cutter gets angled into the corner in an awkward tumble from Zach Steele, but it was almost mission failed successfully for the teenager. Back behind the net, looking for Ryan Ruddle. So many goals this season. Ducks keep it in at the blue line and wrap it in behind the goal. Steele ties up Cutter behind the line. Noah Maley there in support, but Ryan Ruddle will take this and walk in front of the net before an Adelaide stick will just happily guide this puck down the ice for icing.
Yeah, I think we look at that on the rebound. I think that was Jamie Woodman, the safety blanket there for the Avalanche, that just knocked that puck off the stick of Ruddle as he tried to walk out of the corner. But Great job by the Ducks to keep the puck in deep. We talked about it off the top of the broadcast. The Ducks are going to, when they're playing well, they get it deep, they play it hard on the corners. And a few shifts prior was Brody Lindell really forechecking in on Hazel. He looked like he had so much time, and Brody Lindell picked his pocket, and it wasn't until Mr. Woodman came out and bailed out his team before the Avalanche were able to get the puck out of the zone.
Woodman gets the wrong end of a big collision that the Ducks starting to throw the body around. Puck turned the opposite direction. Tom Sack leads Steve Best ahead, kicks it to himself, working on the backhand, but Michael McMahon, the Ducks star defender, tips it off to the right side, and he'll carry it out himself and find Corey Stringer. Stringer in and around the wing, drops it back, and that shot is blocked in front of the net, and Adelaide will outlet. Daniel Chen comes in off the wing. Benson back to Chen. Chen will wrap it around the goal, trying the wrap around, and it gets tipped away by the stick of Alex Koenig on the back check. Chen still on the puck, fans on the pass. 3 Ducks have to collide around him to try to take the puck away, but it's still dished down low to Benson. Benson had 4 points, Chen had 4 points, McDougall 5 points in a dominating preliminary final win for the Adelaide Avalanche last week in Brisbane. McDougall enters the zone. Has Benson trying to go towards the net. Chen will slap a shot in on net. That gets chopped as Trevor Leo will scoop it up. Plays it off to the right side, and it's carried out by big Hayden Dawes. Dawes down the wing, 2-on-2, and the puck sails on him, but it's scooped up by Webster. Fires it through traffic. That goes off a body and wide. Dawes turns and fires. Webster slaps one in on net. It's just open, fires. Dawes again gets one on Friedrich. Puck tied up in the slot. Who wants the puck? Lindell fighting against Benson on the back check, and it's a mad scramble as the Ducks couldn't quite connect. Adelaide finally clears it out. Carpenter has Daniel Chen all over him. A long shift for this Adelaide forward group. Lindell curls into the zone, drops it back, but it was Daniel Chen that was there who will lob it to the center line looking for Johan Levesque, who's already got a goal this game. Chen plays it forward, upended by Lindell. Lindell all over the place in this first period.
Great forecheck, and this line has been electric. Brody Lindell has the forecheck and the speed that just chases down anyone. He doesn't mind you're big, you're small, he'll take you down, and the ability of the veteran presence.
Drop shot, great save. Davis, rebound, comes through, scramble for it in front, and a rig save. Davis, his best save of the game. Robs Adelaide point blank in the slot to keep it tied up.
Dane Davis, take a bow. Those were 2 great pad saves. There was a gaping net, but those lovely heat and pillows stopped the Adelaide Avalanche from getting the lead. And that's the first real offensive chances we've seen from the Adelaide Avalanche. After they went up 2-0, it's really been all Ducks.
Adelaide had a 2-0 lead, 2 goals on the power play. They're 2 for 2, and the Ducks quickly responded, and now they're trying to take the lead late in the period. Woodman shoved off the puck by a good physical play by Cutter, and the loose puck drops out. He almost knocked one home. Down on the left side, McMahon chips it back down low, looking for Hector Vrelnik. He scored that first Ducks goal, and what a time it was for him to score that right after Adelaide went up 2-0. And now they're on the forecheck. Teams grind away for it in the corner. Ruddle plays it off the boards, but it goes to the stick of Steve Best. Best upended by Ruddle, but it goes to the stick of the mustache man, Jake Riley. Already 2 assists in this game, tied up by Jack Carpenter with some nice defensive work from the Melbourne player. Steele, tip shot in front, and Dane Davis might have got a piece of that too. Cutter off the glass. Glove down from Jared Siemens. We have a stoppage in play. I think it's a hand pass, so the draw will come outside the zone. But I think you're going to get a good look at this great save from Dane Davis. There was one, and he makes a second in just a moment. Right there with Jake Riley and Johan Levesque lurking in tight. That was Dane Davis's best save to date. Draw will come back in the neutral zone. Adelaide wins it cleanly. Not much time to go in the period, and this will go all the way back for icing. Johan Levesque and Jamie Woodman had 2 power play goals in the first 5 minutes before Vrelnik and Webster tied it up. And since then, it's been even Steven and close game, just like we expected.
It's giving me a mirror image to the game that they played here 3 Saturdays ago, maybe now. where Adelaide went up 2-0, Ducks came back, tied 2-2, and they fought out a really tight game here to the end. But both goalies have played outstanding, and there's been no better saves than those two that we just saw recently by Dane Davis.
Adelaide trying to get one more chance as it's Daniel Chen going out with Joey McDougall and Nathaniel Benson. Benson absorbs a big hit. Daniel Chen trying to get there and support. Benson will clear it around in behind the goal, but it'll be Trevor Leo who gets there first for the Ducks, and a good powerful hit from Benson who rams into him. Seconds peeling off the clock. Adelaide a good forecheck, but no chances as of yet, and it's a giveaway. McDougall with seconds going off the clock has a very active stick of Lindell who takes that away. Adelaide scores the first two, Ducks score the second two. Both goalies make some key saves. In the first period, nothing between the teams.
Nothing at all. You know, Adelaide Avalanche, best team to start the period, best team to finish the period. But sandwiched between those two great shifts was the Melbourne Ducks, where they came out and played that truculent style of hockey, really physical, and were able to get two back.
Did anything surprise you in that first period at all?
Probably the first 5 minutes. You know, both teams were a little bit loose, right? We saw a couple mistakes, luckily no goals. And then the Adelaide Avalanche, I don't know what's been happening in the last few weeks, but a power play that couldn't put the puck in the net all of a sudden seems to be clicking.
We're going to go down ringside. We're going to get to hear from that man, Joey Quebec. He is down on the ice with Grace right now.
Johan, thanks for joining us. Now, you kicked off the game with 2 power plays. What was it like to sort of get the momentum going from there?
It was really important to capitalize early. We know that they're going to come really, really hard straight away, so we had to get going. It gave us a lot of energy, and we just have to be careful to make sure that we don't get into that game eater and just keep going. We're doing good.
And since then, it's been kind of all Ducks, and the scores are all level at the end of the first. What are you going to do to sort of get back on top?
To be very honest with you, we just have to keep up the pace. You know, we're probably the fittest team in the league, so we just have to keep going and, you know, keep our legs going, keep our feet moving, and good thing happens when those kind of things when we do that. So.
Awesome, and good luck for the rest of the game. Thank you. Thanks. And back to you guys.
That's Grace with a great interview with Johan Levesque, and that's what he said right off the bat. They got that good start, but now how can they get back on top from your perspective, Anton?
Yeah, I think they got to go back to what they were doing well, and that was sending the puck down deep, right? Forcing the Ducks to play in their zone, but allowing them to open up that neutral zone. Because what's happening with the likes of Woodman and Sack and Riley, when they have the space to be able to skate it through and they get those lanes, and that's only possible when your forwards make those extra runs left and right and open that area for you to go through. They need that rush in order to keep that going and get on the score sheet again.
An entertaining first period of the 2022 Walker Cup final. It's game number 1. Let's head to our intermission show. You'll hear from the Melbourne Ducks, Liam Webster. He sat down for a chat with Carl Brewer. Let's hear what he had to say.
I think 7. I've been a part of 4 wins, so 4 World Cup wins, which was really cool. The Melbourne Ice 10, 11, 12, back to back 3-peat, and then 2017. Ultimately, it sounds very cliche, but ultimately it's still a hockey game, and it's still the same thing as you've been doing all year. There's just that cutthroat element to it where there's no tomorrow. Here there is, to a point, there's a little bit of a buffer, but you don't play it that way. So it's there is that extra bit of, I guess, urgency and that extra bit of hardware at the end of it, if you can come through. At a national level, just because there hasn't been the option for it. But I've played in best of 3s, best of 5s, best of 7s. They're great fun. We play back-to-back weekends all year. This is then another level. Because of what's on the line. You get stuff carry over from one game to the next. If there is a game 3, which hopefully we win in 2, is the plan. But if there is a 3, the fans will love it. It's such great competitive hockey, and then it all comes down to the last game. Having old guys who've done it before helps, right? So being able to manage expectations, being able to recognise that we have sat on top of the ladder all year. We've had a very successful regular season, but ultimately that doesn't mean anything unless you back it up. So good teams will find a way to be successful no matter what the circumstances. Great teams will play even better under a lot of pressure. So the culture is fantastic. I've had nothing but fun all year. Everyone has been super welcoming. It's a brand new club anyway, but I've found everyone wants to be around. Any issues that have come up, any sort of teething problems have been dealt with and been addressed, and there's always effort to improve, which has been fantastic. The thing that attracted me was the fresh league. The idea of playing with a few fresh faces for me was also really exciting. And it's I haven't regretted a second. It's been the most fun I've had in years playing. It's been great to see how close of a competition it's been overall. Obviously, we've been successful at Coast. We're in it right up until the last couple of weeks, and then the battle for second has been really close and really tight. So I think it's been nothing but good for the league. Best pre-season in years. This year in particular was I guess a bit. If there wasn't Pro League, it would have been incredibly tough. With the Pacific and the AHL, and after COVID, there was a lot of hesitation of where to go for a lot of people. I think there's been a real gap of competitive hockey through summer, and it was great. It meant we could play competitive hockey with no other pressure. You got to play with guys and against guys that you wouldn't normally. There was a real mix of PHL, AIHL, and sort of Prem A guys and B League guys, and it was awesome. It was really good fun, and everyone that I've spoken to really enjoyed all of it. It was great. I hope it runs again full ball. It'll be awesome. Everywhere in the world that has really good quality hockey through summer, everything gets mixed up. So and it hasn't happened here in Melbourne for a very long time. So it was really nice to have a fresh perspective on hockey, and especially after COVID, it was sort of getting back into it was a perfect time for it. It's hard to pick one. I think just being around. There's a couple of guys. I played at AHL for 20 years. I've been around an awful long time, and there's guys in this dressing room that I've never played on a team with. I think that and the environment around the place, around the whole club, would be the highlight for me. Just like I said earlier, everyone is happy to be around and wants to help in a positive way, and it's something that goes a lot further than people realise. It's really great. I really hope so. That's the plan. We'll have to see what happens, but I'm not going anywhere else. Yeah, I love it. I plan on being back for more. We'll see what happens with life, but if it's going to work to keep playing hockey, then yeah, absolutely.
He's been playing defense for this Avalanche squad so far. Johan Levesque, left wing, walks in, fires a shot, scores! Joey Quebec down in a huge hit. Darren Corstens up the middle of the ice, but Corstens scores! What a goal! Finds Riley down low, inside Riley scores! There it is! A big rebound down low, Friedrich, what a save! Get in front, tipped it behind, it goes on top of that, walk down, Adelaide scores! Adelaide scores! By Robertson just to keep it out of it. Sobchak twisting, turning into the slot. Score! Speck, Sobchak in tight, great goal! Owen Sobchak!
Alone. Oh my gosh, what a pass! What a pass!
Takes a shot, goes around, wrap around and scores.
Loose, this Streeter save, what a close beautifully. What a shot by Tim. Holy moly, what a goalie. He's still within shot scores. Oh, hail Kale. Kale Costa. Versus Robertson trying to hit Sayers, but Sayers reverse hit. First one into the Ducks and Dawes, and he intercepts it. So here's Dawes in the slot for Webster. Back to Dawes. Stop. Scores! What a play! And shot deflected. Shot scored! Hayden Dawes does it again!
Save! What a save! Tommy Flores! Holy smokes!
So shot, deflect, scores! There you go! He does it! Liam Webster fresh out of the box, drops it for Ruddle. Ruddle shot, scores! Ryan Ruddle!
Hockey is made of many things. Of early morning practices and cold rinks. Sticks and skates. Fresh sheets of ice and scuffed boards. Of grit and guts. Passion and power. Performance and precision. It's made of crushing physicality and split-second agility. Of generation after generation of lacing up, raising the cup, and not once giving up. We've always been, and always will be, true to this game. And this game doesn't demand much, just everything you've got. CCM.
What a start for the Adelaide Avalanche and the Melbourne Ducks in the 2022 Walker Cup Final, game number 1. Welcome back. We're almost ready for period number 2. Eric Balnar, Anton Goss. Anton, my goodness. We thought this game might have been let's feel each other out a little bit. Let's don't make a lot of mistakes. Teams went at each other right away, and we got 2 goals. Each team in the first 10 minutes.
Started off with a bang, and they must have listened to our pregame because they fed right into our storylines, right? The Adelaide Avalanche had lots of space there to start the period, and they got up two goals when they had that extra man on the ice, right? 2 power play goals, 2-0, and then came the truculent Ducks, just battering the Avalanche and led them in hits all period.
15 shots or 15 hits to 10 or something around that mark in the first period. The Ducks have that edge, but you're right. Those goals came off of Adelaide turnovers forced by those big bumbling Ducks that were really physical in front and behind the net.
Yeah, I mean, the great play here on the Avalanche on their goals, right? Getting the puck in deep, and Johan Levesque, just Johnny on the spot, able to get his stick to the puck and bat that one in there. And then Jamie Woodman with a seeing eye shot, really driven by the great work of Corsons in front of the net to screen the eyes of Dane. As great a goalie as he is, I can tell you, it's hard to stop a puck if you don't know where it's coming from.
The Melbourne Ducks didn't take too long to respond. In fact, it was 42 seconds after this puck went by Dane Davis, and it became off the stick of the flying Frenchman, Top Cheese. That was 40 seconds after. It felt like the game was all going Adelaide's way. That was a perfectly timed goal for the home team.
That's for sure, and it really got the crowd back in it, right? We got a very pro-Melbourne Ducks crowd here today. A few Adelaide fans that have traveled over, and we expect a lot more in for Saturday. But that got the crowd in, and we started to hear some Go Ducks chants. And it was only another 40, 50 seconds when Liam Webster came in off a great work by Brody Lindell, and he put that puck in the net. And look at his face. He knows what that means for his team as they look to be crowned the inaugural Walker Cup champs.
Probably goes to show right there, Jake Riley gives the puck away to a dangerous player. You can't make those mistakes in playoff hockey. You also need big goaltending, and Dane Davis in particular, late in the period, made some huge saves that we could be talking about at the end of this game.
Definitely. The Ducks, well, they had all that offensive pressure. The Adelaide Avalanche finally got the puck down deep, and those were 2 point-blank shots. I mean, we got the best view in the house. We saw that gaping hole on the right, and those big pillows came down and kick save and knocked that out of the way. And on Jake Riley, no less. That guy knows how to score.
Jake Riley with hat tricks in his last 2 games. He's already got 2 assists tonight. Levesque has a goal. Woodman has a goal. Assist to Nathaniel Benson, Andrew Chen, and Jake Riley ×2. Hector Vrelnek has a goal for the Ducks. That was assisted by Ryan Ruddle, and Liam Webster has a goal assisted by Brody Lindell. All of the goals in the first 8 minutes of the game. In the last 12 minutes were actually probably how I expected the first 12 minutes of the game to go. It was even Steven. Ducks probably controlled the play a little bit more using that forward-checking style, but now the teams are right back to where they started to start period number 2 as they anxiously await to get back on the ice.
That's for sure. I think, the Adelaide Avalanche, they're going to hope to start the period the way they started the last one, and the Ducks are just going to hope to stay out of the box, because you take away those 2 power plays, could be a very different story as well.
We thank you all from tuning in wherever you are around the country, around the world. And of course on Channel 31, this is on live free-to-air TV on a few states. Just on your free-to-air, you just flick through and you can find the hockey game. So go text your mates all about it. But we are missing one very important character here at the rink tonight.
That's for sure. Good mate Carl Brewer. He's usually here with the cast. I know he'd be watching at home, so we really look forward to hopefully having you back here on Saturday, Carl. But the storyline's mapping out exactly the way you envisioned it. So I know you'd be yelling at the screen a few times on some of the turnovers, but definitely cheering on with both teams.
Well, this is a big shout out to Carl Brewer, because we had a good chat in the week, all 3 of us, about little things that are happening in the game. And you look at the face-off percentage, and this is being tracked by our great friend Tristan. Adelaide is losing the face-off battle. So the Ducks have won 15, the Avs have won 10. But as Carl will happily tell you, it's not about how many you win, it's about when you win them. Adelaide won 3 face-offs on the power play at crucial times, and that set up 2 power play goals that has them up 2-0.
That's for sure, and that's the thing, always reading into the stats. So the Adelaide Avalanche obviously would love to be leading in the face-offs, but you got to win the ones that do count. And a couple of those against Liam Webster, who's definitely one of the top ones. As you see, Best there just singing along to this great song here, right?
It's a very relaxed Adelaide Avalanche group. I was very lucky to be able to travel with the team and see them around. And Sean Baker, the strength and conditioning coach from Peak Conditioning, flat out said this is a weird group for a grand final. They're not overhyped. They're just maybe in that right mindset. They're almost treating it like another game, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but maybe it's a good thing. You just approach it like any other hockey game and go and try to play your style.
That's for sure. I mean, they went up to Brisbane and they played it like any other game, and they won 11-2. Not sure they get that same level of scoring prowess against a strong Ducks team, but definitely be looking to continue that loosey-goosey feel and whatever works, right?
Dane Davis stopped 12 pucks in the first period. Jeremy Friedrich, his counterpart in Adelaide, stopped 10. The score is 2-2. A look at Joey McDougall, the captain. He likes to call himself a playoff player. He had 5 points in the preliminary final. He had 4 points in the game before that versus the Ducks, turning it on at the end of the season. His line, though, buoyed by the return of Daniel Chen. There's a look at the mustache man, Jake Riley, having a chat with Sammy Mantier, a Finnish hockey player. He was on Adelaide's last championship-winning team. Probably complements Adelaide's European style. And then, what nationality is the coach of the Ducks?
He's American, right? And that's that big, hard, physical game. One of the bright minds there from Minnesota, which everyone knows is the hockey state, Pat McMahon.
So period 2 almost ready to go. It's the PHL Walker Cup final. Adelaide and Melbourne. It's a 2-2 game, and already here comes Brody Lindell down the wing. He's hunted down by Jamie Woodman, but Lindell fires a shot, rebounds there for Webster, and Adelaide has to clear it away. Kept in, but right to the stick of Joey McDougall, and he'll just play this behind the goals and allow his young forwards to go to work. Kept in at the line by Jake Hazel. Benson couldn't get a stick on it, and now Lindell skates off to his off wing, but he will be cut off by the sure hands of Jamie Woodman. Woodman, you'd think, would be a finalist, not just for Defenseman of the Year, but possibly for MVP too. There's probably a few candidates, which I'm sure in a break at some point, if we can talk about. Anton, let the good people know who those key figures are, but Jamie Woodman, certainly one of those.
There's definitely no players that are more valuable to their team. You mentioned it earlier. The record with and without Woodman in the lineup really speaks for itself.
Hector Vrelnik hunted down by Nathaniel Benson in behind the Ducks' goal.
And here's Michael McMahon. He's the big leader defenseman from the Ducks, and we're really lucky to have two of the best defensemen in the country going head-to-head tonight here.
Vrelnik burns by the defenseman, and Jeremy Friedrich has to poke his stick out to knock that puck away. Lob pass ahead, almost on the tape of Steve Best, but he's still in behind the Ducks defense. Walks around Carpenter. Leo cuts him off and gets hauled down as well. Crowd hollering for a penalty, well, at least some people hollering for a penalty. Sack fires a shot on goal, whistles a little bit wide. Andrew Chen cuts it off at the right point, pitches down low, and the Ducks will take this away down the left wing. Here's Hector Vrelnik, fires one in on goal. Jeremy Friedrich just angles this one into the corner ever so slightly. Walking out in front, Ruddle has this shot bounce away, and the puck bounces and bumbles onto the stick of Jordan Freeman. The Canadian plays it down the rink. That will go for icing. 2 minutes into the period, still a 2-2 hockey game. You talk about some of those MVP candidates. You think your guys like Liam Webster, Michael McMahon, and Hayden Dawes probably factor into that conversation for the Ducks.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, no one scored at a better pace than Hayden Dawes and scored bigger goals, right? I know it's not something we track throughout the season, but if you were to go look at some of the game-winning goals, when the goals are on the line, not padding the stats in some of these blowout losses, Hayden Dawes is always on the score sheet, and he's often being set up by Liam Webster.
Wild shot from Jack Carpenter. Lobs in behind off the back glass, but the Ducks still on that forecheck as Koenig almost created an opportunity, but it's Noah Maley. The energy lines going head-to-head right now between Adelaide and the Ducks. Both of these teams rolling three lines right now, it appears, and a couple defense pairings with that odd shift from a third line. Jared Siemens making a return after a month away in Canada. Drops it off to Johan Levesque. He curls back, goes up the middle of the ice for Darren Korstens. This is Adelaide's mustache line. All three of these men sporting beautiful mows. Most of the team, well, at least the team that can grow mustaches, have those sported for the playoffs. Tipped up on the left side to Schuma. Can't quite get there first, and it pops free in the neutral zone for Johan Levesque. He'll come in off the left wing. Levesque turns, fires, looking at the centering line. He was looking for Jake Riley. It went off a leg and in behind the goal. Riley tried to dangle his way in front of the net, and the Ducks will just lob it back into the neutral zone. Settled down at the center line by Liam Webster. Dawes fires one through off the skate of Jamie Woodman and all the way to the right point. Kept in by Robertson, tipped down in front of the net by Hayden Dawes, and this goes in behind the goal. Johan Levesque gets a stick on it, and Adelaide will break this out, but it's intercepted by Webster. Webster turns in the slot to Lindell, looking for Dawes on the back door, and Johan Levesque goes back up the ice. Riley gives him a return pass, gets tipped in behind the goal to the stick of Michael McMahon on the left side. McMahon up to Dawes. Played back towards Dane Davis, and he'll happily hold on to this puck. He's got to play it off, I think. No, he doesn't. He'll finally get that whistle 4 minutes into the second period.
You saw a couple of those broken plays where the Adelaide Avalanche nearly went the other way. Great stick by Woodman to break up that play and allow Johan Levesque to go down the other way, but the Ducks just were back in numbers and prevented the opportunity.
Draw will come to the left of Dane Davis. Draw one cleanly by the Avalanche. Woodman walks the line, throws one in net. Rebound was there, but it's safely cleared away from Troy Robertson. Joey McDougall bumped off the puck. Robertson swatting away in the corner. McDougall turns, fires in front of the net, and Michael McMahon rather, intercepts and skates this up the wing. McMahon carrying it coast to coast, tried to go up high. It was poked free and into the corner. Webster settles it down for the Ducks. Webster dishes back down low in behind the goal for Brody Lindell off on the left side of the ice. Robertson, point shot, tipped down low, and Friedrich got the pad down. That's his best save yet. Dawes, sauce pass, one-timer, tipped off the leg of Jake Hazel and into the corner. Robertson cuts off the puck. McDougall tries to clear, and he finally does, but Robertson draped all over Nathaniel Benson. Ducks clogging the neutral zone to start this game, and Adelaide having trouble responding in transition.
Oh, yeah, you're absolutely right there, Eric. The Ducks, if they can keep that zone clogged, the Avalanche don't get to have their speed, but Jeremy Friedrich, this save, it doesn't look like much, but a bouncing puck fluttering and then forced just to have the ability to use his stick and kick that into the corner. Rebound control extraordinaire. If he knocked that back into the slot, the puck would have been in the back of the net.
You're a goalie, Anton. Is that something, how do you even train or coach for something like that? It almost looked like a double kick off the pad from Friedrich.
It's funny you say that. I was talking about it with my team last week. I remember my first time playing when I was a kid. It was my first time ever playing with two goalies, and I got pulled because I kicked one into the slot. And coach pulled me and said I would never play if I didn't learn how to control that play. And you see it right there on that replay. The trick is, as a goaltender, it's having your hands out in front of you and using them to guide the body. Arms move with the body first, right? It's not a matter of just moving your hands. It's the whole body movement. You see his shoulders, hands, making that square, and you almost guide that puck to the direction that you want, exactly like Jeremy Friedrich.
He just did that and knocked it to the crowd. He got a stoppage in play, which he's probably okay with, better than a juicy rebound in the slot. Ducks try to turn this around in transition. Noah Maley moving back from forward. Plays it around looking for Andrew Chen, but it'll be intercepted and finally grabbed by Andy Chen once again. Vrelnik already scored a goal, tips it forward. Todd Cutter back to his defense. Leo off boards, and Andrew Chen intercepts. Vrelnik up the middle of the ice, curls over towards the left side. Vrelnik on the backhand. Ruddle standing in front of the net, but Vrelnik just angled into the corner by a back-checking Noah Maley, who tips the puck away and will play it forward to Steve Best. Maley on the second opportunity plays it off to Tom Sack, but it's tipped by the sure stick of Michael McMahon. Some nice back-checking from the young Adelaide forward, just 19 years old, Noah Maley.
With the lack of space in the neutral zone, I think the Adelaide Avalanche have to start trying to just chip these past the Ducks defenders and try to beat them with speed around the outside, because it's not really working for them at the moment.
Kept in by Koenig. He tried to find Tashuma cutting towards the middle of the ice. Dangerous pass up to the slot. It's scooped up by Jake Riley. Riley through the neutral zone, stops, cuts, fires a shot, and then gets dumped to the ice by Troy Robertson, and McMahon will clear up the garbage and play it off to the off wing, and the Ducks will be able to clear the zone.
Riley would be upset with himself on that one. He made a real great move to cut into the inside and just fanned on the shot. He'd expect better from himself.
Ducks go back to work, grinding in the corner. Koenig gets bumped off the puck, and Jake Riley plays it off to Darren Korstens coming down the right wing. Korstens drops back to Levesque across. Oh my goodness, what a save! Dane Davis moves across the crease, and the mustache man, Jake Riley, cannot believe it.
I don't think anyone can. That is a highlight reel save. Dane Davis, welcome to the grand final, mate. I mentioned to you earlier there, Eric, he's 3 for 4 in grand finals, and saves like that is why I still can't believe it, and we've seen it 3 or 4 times on the highlights there.
Jake Riley doesn't miss those often, and I don't think he missed that one either. It was a matter of Dane Davis making a highlight reel save. So both goaltenders have made an excellent save, although Davis is much more flashy than the other one. Webster, left side in front of the face of the goal of Jeremy Friedrich, but it whistles all the way by, and the rubber bounces off the puck and back in the neutral zone. Robertson chips it forward, looking for Lindell, but he finds Dawes. Dawes in behind the goalie, and Friedrich will play it off the boards right to McDougall. McDougall chips it in. Down the left side they'll go as Adelaide will go to the forecheck behind, but it's McMahon who scoops it out, digs it, and finds it to Robertson, who chips it around the far boards. Kept in from Jake Hazel. Daniel Chen gets checked by Robertson once again. Webster there in support, but Adelaide comes away with it. They get knocked down. Both teams have had 2 power play opportunities in this game. Wessels have been quiet ever since the Ducks had those back-to-back. Shots even 17-17, score even 2-2. There's not much between these teams.
Look at that. Oh, Dane. They don't call him the Great Dane for nothing, right?
That was just stunning. One of those ones you don't even know what to say,
Yeah.
but Dane Davis just keeping this one a 2-2 game. And I'm sure sometimes like that, when you're a player on the team like the Ducks, that's got to give you so much momentum forward, knowing, hey, it could be a 3-2 game, but our goalie just kept it tied.
Yeah, the Ducks have been very, very lucky. I mean, everyone talks about the Ducks' high offense, right? Score lots of goals. But he's the PHL goaltender of the year, and he does that because that's a regular occurrence. And if I were the Adelaide Avalanche, I would watch a lot of tape. You don't go to his glove. Dane's got one of the best glove hands in the country.
Dane Davis played some junior hockey with the Barrie Colts in the Ontario Hockey League. That's the top junior league in the world. A lot of NHL stars are from there. If you're watching the World Junior Championships, all the players from there. Adelaide fires a shot on the one-timer. It bounces off the board. Ruddle can't clear the zone. Adelaide keeps it in, but it was Johan Levesque who fell down, and Ruddle will finally scoop this out and come down the far wing. Ruddle has the puck taken away as the puck rattles down in front of us, Anton, and the Ducks will resettle this as Trevor Leo. On the near side, he gets run over by Tom Sack, who's making his presence felt, but Todd Cutter scoops up a puck. Here's Cutter. Nice play, backhanded, and Jeremy Friedrich makes a great save. A great opportunity on a broken play for the Ducks, and they're still swarming. Centering to Vrelnik. Score! Oh, off the post! I thought it was in. Friedrich still down. How is this a tie hockey game? Riley, the other direction. He's off the far wing. Fires one through. Big rebound. Levesque fires one, and Davis with a great glove save. Goalies, stand up. You're putting on a show.
We might have just seen the most entertaining 90 seconds of hockey that the PHL has ever seen, and a goal wasn't even scored. Absolutely amazing glove hand save by Dane Davis, but I mean, I still don't know the one before, how that one didn't go in. Hector Vrelnik, who came in and shot that one, I think it hit 2 posts and Friedrich and stayed out.
I was about to call it a goal.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous. Both goaltenders making big saves. If scoring was the story of the first period, it's goaltending of the second. Stringer leading play in front, and Koenig tipped this one wide. Schuma back down low. He was looking for Koenig once again, but Adelaide will grab it and bank it off the boards, looking down on the far wing for Jake Riley. Koenig plays it forward, intercepted by Darren Korstens. Korstens drops it off to Riley. Riley in the near boards, works his way back behind the goal, and Koenig intercepts and will chip it out to the left wing from Michael McMahon. Johan Levesque forces him back, and somehow McMahon evades 2 defenders, kicks it to himself, and lobs it for an attacking position. Stringer pokes it forward, scoops it up on the near wing. Grabbed by Jamie Woodman, and he'll go back behind the goals. Both teams putting on a clinic right now.
Yeah, the last 5 minutes has really turned into a little bit of a track meet, and I think the Adelaide Avalanche won't mind playing that style of hockey. They really thrive off the rush. They thrive off those broken plays, and if the Ducks are going to give them that time and allow them to build up some of that speed, they're going to get some more chances.
And right now it's the battle between the King in Dane Davis and the Prince in Jeremy Friedrich, going toe-to-toe right now, although in this period it's Dane Davis 2, Jeremy Friedrich 1.
Absolutely amazing windmill glove saves. Dane knows how to make them look good, eh?
Webster taking the draw versus Nathaniel Benson. Webster just pushes it forward and goes right in behind the goal. Webster pushed around in the corner. He was looking for Hayden Dawes. Dawes gets there and scores! Hayden Dawes with a beautiful shot, and the home team's in front.
Leading goal scorer from the Pacific League regular season gets his tally here in the grand final, and the Ducks now up 3-2 have the crowd going wild.
All started with Liam Webster pushing the puck forward. Goes in behind the goal, and Hayden Dawes just needed a fraction of a second. to put one to the back of the net. Past Jeremy Friedrich, who's played very well this period, but the Ducks, who started this game down 2-0, now find themselves in front 3-2. Don't forget, Adelaide scored those 2 power play goals in the first 5 minutes. Melbourne then responded just 40 seconds after that to make it 2-1, and then they scored again versus Webster. And then Hayden Dawes at the midway point of the game. He loves scoring goals. But Hayden Dawes has just taken a penalty, so Adelaide, who's 2 for 2 on the PP today, they're going to the power play. So Adelaide, let's see what they can do with the man advantage in response. Dawes in the box. And let's go Ducks now echoing around the building. You're right, Anton. This crowd is just fired up. And if it didn't feel like playoff hockey before, it maybe just took a couple periods. It's got an electric playoff atmosphere in this barn now. Big draw won by the Ducks. Hector Vrelnik, well shorthanded, was all over Jamie Woodman, but he intercepts and goes up the ice. Woodman has his pocket picked by some relentless back checking by Vrelnik. Ducks chip this forward and out of the zone, so Adelaide's killed off, or the Ducks rather have killed off the first 20 seconds of the power play. Jamie Woodman drops it off. And Jamie Woodman has to chase for it in the corner.
That's a classic Brody Lindell play, right? Gets really close to you. Amazing forechecks, picks the stick, picked the pocket there of the Adelaide Avalanche player. And this will be a nice offensive zone face-off here for the Adelaide Avalanche with a few seconds left here on the penalty to Hayden Dawes.
Adelaide was 2 for 2 entering this power play in the game.
And they had a few good chances. I mean, they won the 2 faceoffs they took there in the offensive zone, and they won the 3rd one here as well, but they just weren't able to beat the Great Dane.
Freeman dishes it off to the near wing for Joey McDougall. Time running out on this power play, just a dozen seconds to go. Played back around the boards and all the way back in the neutral zone. It's a 2-on-1 while shorthanded. Hector Vrelnik enters the zone, slaps one on net, and it rattles away in the corner. Penalty comes to an end. Hayden Dawes flies back on the ice, and Tom Sack has to play it back to his defense as Jordan Freeman plays it up towards Steve Best. Joey McDougall cuts in the wing. McDougall steers around some traffic, finds a player in a dangerous area, but it bounced off his stick, and the Ducks are able to outlet. Vrelnik walks in and claps one off the blocker of the young Jeremy Friedrich in net. Ruddle deflects the rebound to his own stick and then barrels into the Avalanche player. Crowd getting behind the Ducks once again. Michael McMahon plays the puck forward to Vrelnik. They were offside. A couple players were offside, probably both Vrelnik and Ruddle. But the Melbourne Ducks score in the middle of this period. Hayden Dawes have put them up 3-2 in game 1. Michael McMahon, Liam Webster, they have been key players on this team all year. And Liam Webster, he scored that goal to tie the game. That was after Hector Vrelnik in the first period scored to cut the lead in half after a very nervy start for the Ducks. You would have thought of all the experience, all the championships on this Ducks team, that they would have been the ones that would have jumped out early, and Adelaide might have been a bit more nervous. The roles have reversed, and the Ducks now have a 3-2 lead.
Yeah, you know, when you get down a 2-goal lead, it's easy to get despondent, but that's that veteran presence on the bench. And you look at the guys that scored to get them back in, guys like Liam Webster, who tied the game there, and another great stick there by Jeremy Friedrich.
You see the crowd starting to fill in all behind the goals, and you know, tomorrow night when this game is sold out, there's going to be rows of 2-3 people all around the rink. This is going to be electric tomorrow.
And you know, when the Pacific League Cup, the Nathan Walker Cup is finally awarded, both teams, along with all the fans, they're all going to be there at Moondog World here in Preston, partying with the cup. So even
Lindell centering play tipped away as Korstens plays this forward. Johan Levesque gets a foot race for it. McMahon trying to go across, and it's a big defensive play from the leading defenseman, but they can't clear the zone. Hazel pinches forward, centering play on the slot. It goes off Riley's stick in the other direction. Here's Liam Webster. It's end-to-end hockey at Ice HQ. Webster, sharp angle shot. Jeremy Friedrich got the pad down. Levesque, a dangerous pass, but it was lucky to go to the stick. But the Ducks find a turnover in the neutral zone and go the other way. Brody Brody Lindell working against Jamie Woodman. Lindell's not scared of Woodman at all. Dawes with the puck, and he tries to find a man in the slot. Hazel gets tied up. Adelaide searching for the puck, and Todd Cutter is going to get there first for the Ducks. Lindell in behind the zone, tied up by Jamie Woodman. He pushes him aside. Cutter scoops it up on his backhand and works off to the near wing. Centering play in the slot. Vrelnik's there. He'll fire a wild shot in, and that goes out of play. The Ducks looking menacing, Anton.
This is that truculent style of hockey, and I think if you go back a little bit, you saw when Dawes got out of the box, he had momentum. And the Adelaide Avalanche starting to have to look over their shoulder a little bit. It's allowing the Ducks to get the puck in deep. It's affording them a little bit of space, and if it weren't for the young Jeremy Friedrich, the Ducks would be running away with this one.
Off the draw, Ducks trying to go right back to the attack. They've started to take control of the shot tally slightly, 24-21. They were down by 2 to start this period. So it's 12 shots to 9, I believe, for the Ducks in this period, or 12 shots to 7, rather. Sorry, so it's all Ducks at the moment, but both goalies putting on a show. Here's Todd Cutter, drops it off to Ruddle, cuts to the middle of the net, and Jeremy Friedrich gets that right hand. Bit of a different look from Jeremy Friedrich because he's a lefty.
Yeah, often that surprises team players first half going into the game as well. You go down thinking you're going to go top glove. Turns out, top glove, you end up having the blocker. You think you're going top blocker, you end up seeing the glove, right? That's the thing about the old cock-handed style of goaltending there, the full right that you got going on.
Koenig has the draw taken away. Here's Jared Siemens, first game back after a month away. Daniel Chen off a 4-point night in the prelim, pokes the puck forward, and Tashuma wedges him out along the boards, and Adelaide will have to backtrack and settle this puck down again. Icing waved off. Only one goal in this second period, and it's come off the stick of Hayden Dawes. This energy line from the Ducks again, creating a forecheck turnover, and McMahon so steady back behind the goal again.
The Adelaide Avalanche haven't been able to find a way to get past the monster captain of Michael McMahon, and they just seem to be shut down every opportunity getting into that neutral zone.
We talked about it at the top of the broadcast. That's where Adelaide really does thrive, is flying through the neutral zone, creating opportunities. They thrive in a little bit of chaos, and one way to stop chaos is clog up that neutral zone, and that's what the Ducks have done very well.
Yeah, Michael McMahon's one of those players as a goaltender you just love to have on the ice. He's like a wet blanket in a fire, right? You just throw that on, it stuffs out any danger. But the Ducks have done actually a really good job of almost playing Adelaide's style of game. They've been getting in through the neutral zone, setting the puck wide, specifically over to the left-hand side, and able to get in and drop that for the trailing centerman or the second forward coming in, and they're getting shots in through on the zone.
Dane Davis has made a couple spectacular saves this period, but the Ducks have controlled most of the play in the middle section of this game. It's got to the point now where Adelaide might not feel too bad if they were just down 1 goal heading into the third period.
I definitely think that, but the Adelaide Avalanche, that's what they want. They love these kind of games where they're still hanging in it, down just a goal, and they kind of get you into a false sense of security, right? And then they just pounce, just like this.
Noah Maley comes up the seam, floats one in on net. He chases after his own rebound, but Dane Davis has to come out to cut that one off. Adelaide, just a couple weeks ago, they were in Melbourne. They were down 3-0 early in the game. They stormed back to win that game 5-4. In Adelaide, they went down 3-0 to the Ducks. They stormed back to tie it at 4 before falling in overtime. So even if it does get to a 2-3 goal lead at some point, this Adelaide team never out of it, just like the Ducks, who were already down 2 goals at one point in this game.
That's for sure. That's that hard work of both these teams and that competitive spirit. I know every single one of these young men love to win.
Steve Best hit hard behind the goal. Puck pops up on the near boards for Jake Hazel. Grabbed again by Best. Best just trying to cycle his way down low. Noah Maley giving chase, but Michael McMahon, who just seems to be on the ice at all times for the Ducks, and Jamie Woodman, the same sort of response. Bounces one forward, bounces off the boards right to Robertson. Robertson plays one up. Steve Best intercepts. Now Adelaide's energy line trying to create something for the visitors as both teams lay into each other, but Robertson dished down Steve Best, and Robertson's going after for some more blood. McMahon will settle things down. Man, Michael McMahon and Jamie Woodman, they're the top defense pairing on the Australian national team. It'll be fun to watch when they reunite again in April next year. Maley tips it forward. Johan Levesque plays it back to Maley. He finds a man in the slot. Sack fires one through, and it's another big save from Dane Davis as that puck rattles into the corner. Sack again, tipped off Dane Davis's stick. Davis, who has been excellent lately, sharp side shot, Adelaide grinds away, and Davis gets down and makes another big save. Woodman at the point, walks through traffic, tipped down low from Maley and a little bit wide. Now, big sustained pressure here from Adelaide as it's flicked forward from Jake Riley, a saucer pass to a dangerous area. It goes back to the point for Jamie Woodman. Woodman scores! Johan Levesque tips one above Davis. If you can't beat them clean, you gotta beat them dirty, and Adelaide's tied this game.
Yeah, Johan Levesque, he's working his way to a first star of tonight. Another one on the score sheet, and that one was just an absolute rocket of a shot before we got that deflection going up. That's exactly what you want as a defender. Hard shot along the ice and allowing your players there to get a stick on it. And there was nothing Michael McMahon could do to stop Johan Levesque.
After large, sustained offensive pressure, Adelaide has leveled this game at 1. Referees having a quick chat about it. Don't know what this discussion is. Johan Levesque is all fired up. What are the referees chatting about here? I don't know if we can see that replay again really quickly. Let's take a look. Here's the shot. It was tipped once, it was tipped twice, and it deflected to the top of the goal. And they're waving off the goal? Why are they waving off the goal? It was tipped. I don't know what they're calling for. It's back to a 3-2 hockey game. Was it offside? Anton is over in the box right now trying to figure out what's going on, but it is not a tie hockey game. This one is being waved off. They're looking at the replay right now. It's called a goal, tipped once, tipped twice. I'm not too sure what this was called back for. What is this being called back of the net? The puck never went in the net, they're saying?
Yeah, officials had a little conference there, and they said that they didn't see the puck actually go in the net, so we have no goal. Puck doesn't cross the line, you don't have a goal.
Do we have the replay? We'll pull up the replay again in the next break. So the ref's saying no, but Jake Riley is in all alone, trying to respond again, scores! Well, that one went to the back of the net. It's 3-3.
That's the break. Jake Riley, the speed through the neutral zone, and he made no mistake, and Adelaide finally get the goal they thought they scored mere seconds ago.
Well, he doesn't miss those much, and he goes glove side on Dane Davis's. Riley, third point of the night. I still want to see that replay again before. So the refs, you were over in the box, Anton. They said it didn't go in the back of the net?
That's correct there, Eric. They said the puck never went in the net and deflected there off the screen.
Well, we'll take a look at the replay again. I don't know what I was watching. I can't wait for that on the next break. Adelaide tips this forward, back behind the goal. Either way, we are back to 3-3. It kind of feels just after that Adelaide has tied this game after thinking they had. 25 shots to 23 now. Here come the Ducks going the other direction. Corey Stringer taking off the puck. Schuma there in support. Plays it forward. It bounces over Steele, and now Stringer's going to try to take advantage. Goes back to the right side. Play in front of the net. Friedrich gets down and makes a huge save. Now let's pull up this replay once again. This is the play they said that did not go to the back of the net. Tip once, tip twice, and that is in the back of the net. How is that not a goal? It was called off clearly in the back of the net, and it was waved off. They said it didn't go in the back of the net, but that replay shows it hitting the back of the net.
Well, we've all been in this situation before here, Eric. Obviously, we don't have the situation room here in Toronto calling the games. Play what's on, and it's a great job by the Avalanche to keep the composure and get back here on the scoreline.
Well, here's Levesque again as Dawes goes the other way. So this game not without controversy. I guess it's controversial because it was called a goal on the ice. They celebrated like it was a goal. The referees went to center ice to drop the puck for the goal. And then as the players were about to drop it off, they said, actually, that puck that's in the back of the net didn't go to the back of the net. But on the score sheet, it's 3-3. It's one of those ones you have to move past it. But I guarantee you, Adelaide's going to be talking about that for a while.
Oh, 100%, especially if they end up on the losing end of this game.
Wow. Controversy has come out. However, it does feel just that right after Jake Riley gets a pretty easy breakaway.
The hockey gods make it all work together,
The hockey gods have
right?
evened it up. And you feel like that doesn't happen. Had Adelaide that goal counted, that run of play probably doesn't happen, and it's probably still a 3-3 game. So it comes out in the wash. But what a bizarre sequence of events.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely wow. But everyone who hasn't had a chance to officiate, it's not the easiest thing to do on the ice, and they made their best call there. So here we are, 3-3 game, less than 2 minutes here, and we're back to where we started once again.
We wanted drama in this grand final series, and boy, are we ever getting it. Tie game, Adelaide and Melbourne, 2-2 after one. It's now 3-3 late in the second period. Ducks out shooting the Avalanche, but both goalies putting on a clinic in this period. McMahon off to the left side. Dawes can't hold on to the puck. And here comes Webster. Webster with a great job of Brody Lindell to stay onside. Had they created an opportunity, it was because of the efforts of that young man. Adelaide will go the other direction.
And Woodman's got space.
Woodman with some speed, burns around one. Woodman in behind the net, cuts towards the front, fans on the shot a little bit as Dane Davis might have interfered with him just enough. Back down low in the corner, Benson cycles it back to the right point and quickly thrown back on net. McDougall throws one in on net, fires a shot as Benson on the wraparound. Davis kicks it down. What a save by Davis again. McDougall a second opportunity, and off the near boards is Nathaniel Benson. Daniel Chen hounding this one down low. All the way back, chipped off to the point. Freeman fires one through traffic. Rebound pops free. McDougall looking for it. Tries to go upstairs as it rattles around the boards. Ducks trying to clear. Adelaide tenacious on the puck. Finally scooped up. Adelaide player got dumped down. Then they're going to the power play with 7.7 seconds left.
Todd Cutter's not happy on that one, but I'll tell you what, they say it so often how a goal can go to the legs. And while that one might not account on the score sheet, the minute that shot tipped by Johan Levesque went in, it's been all Adelaide. They've just been relentless, and the speed that they've been famous for is really starting to come out now.
And referee not very happy. Chris Parks coming back to give another word there. So 2 minutes for sure going on the board for Todd Cutter. He's not happy about that call at all. He thinks it was just a fine hit.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough one on there. You know, he went in, made a hit there. There he is smacking the CCM twig. But you can see it's a great twig because it didn't break on that one. But obviously hard play. That's that line, right? When you're a very truculent, hard, aggressive team, you obviously run the line there, and Todd Cutter just got that one wrong.
Dawes will play this down the ice, and that will end the period. And what a period it was, Anton. I don't even know where to start. The first half of the period, Dane Davis, 2 unbelievable saves that left us, the guys that can talk the most in the league, speechless. Jeremy Friedrich made a couple nice pad saves on deflections, but Hayden Dawes put them up at the halfway mark to go up 3-2. Adelaide thought they scored. The puck did go in the back of the net. Ref said it didn't, but moments later, Jake Riley ties it at 3. Great goaltending, a lot of drama, clean hockey. There was no penalty until the 7 seconds to go. It was just phenomenal pace of play.
Yeah, we really got treated to a great one. Here comes Johan Levesque. He definitely wants to know what that one was for, because he might have just been robbed a goal. But he's played enough hockey to know you're not going to change the Stripes' mind, and Adelaide will go back with all the momentum.
We will head to the period break in a second. Is Grace grabbing someone for us down there or not in this intermission? I think she is. Yeah. We'll head down in a moment as Johan Levesque. I don't even know how this conversation goes. It's sort of an awkward one if you're the referee, aren't you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, Johan just saying tipped it, went in, trying to figure it. The refs, they got to play. They got to call what they see, right?
Yep.
I mean, we're very lucky we can see it over and over and over again. They got to play it with the way that it was, and I trust they make the decisions based on.
And we don't do video review in the PHL because you can't get that. You don't necessarily have the same angles at all the rinks, so you have to call it exactly as you do it, and you have to go with how you call it all season long, and these have been the best officials all year long. Let's throw down rinkside. Grace has an interview for us with the Ducks.
Down with Hayden Dawes.
Hayden, thanks for joining us. Now, you got the most goals in the regular period, and you scored a great goal in that period there. You know, tell us sort of what was going through your mind during that goal.
Just had a loose puck and just trying to get pucks on net really at that point. Not really much more to it on that. Just taking advantage of a loose puck, and luckily it went in. But yeah, we got to keep the pucks out of our net if we're going to have success here.
And now it's always very physical when we play Adelaide, and today is no different. Is that something that sort of helps you or feeds you, or is that something you sort of need to reserve over the series?
Yeah, I think physicality for myself always kind of gets me more involved, and being a bigger guy, always happy to do so. And games like this, the little things are what matters. So every little hit kind of adds up, especially over a series. And so yeah, it's always it's something for me that I always enjoy. But obviously, some guys maybe not so much. But yeah, I think that's key to our success. So definitely got to keep that going.
Awesome. Well, good luck for the rest of the game. Thank you. Back to you guys.
Hayden Dawes with that big goal to put the Ducks up at the time, 3-2. He's got one tonight. We'll take a quick break. We've got a chat with Darren Korstens from the Adelaide Avalanche in the intermission, and then Eric and Anton will be back with you for period number 3. It's the intermission. It's the grand final. This guy's playing it right here. I'm calling it. This is just a weird dynamic shift for the viewers at home. Darren Korstens. Who's got the better mustache out of the two of us, do you think?
I think you might, buddy. I think my lip luggage isn't quite as good as yours. I think you got me covered.
They're both pretty good, though. Like, it's a good little, good little
yeah, I know. It's just...
What inspired the mustaches amongst the group this year?
Oh, I'd be lying if I didn't say Jake. I saw what kind of face furniture he was rocking, and I was like, we'll get on that straight away and start a bit of a trend, and here we are. Seize the moment.
The mustache line has been grooving this year. That was when did that adjustment sort of happen? I know it happened mid-season, but what did it feel good right away when you were put with Johan Levesque and Jake Riley?
Yeah, so I think it happened I reckon it was probably round 3 or 4 during the season. I think it was against Brisbane, and we were just trying to do something different, and we just wanted to get Jake firing a little bit. And I think off the back of that, look, it took a game or two to sort of get used to each other. But, Jake's an easy guy to play with. And Yoey's, the guy's just a natural goal scorer. You throw the puck in his direction and it's probably going in, right? So, yeah, look, it sort of happened around then. And honestly, it's been a breeze. Like, there's been a lot of communication between each other, which has helped. So, it's been fantastic and a privilege to play with those two.
How do you think you and Jake in particular complement each other?
Well, I think, Jake he's just an X factor player, right? You give him the puck and he's able to do something. And I think what's really impressive to see over the course of the year is just how he's sort of evolved as a player. Is, instead of coming down and doing the odd man rush from time to time, I think he's sort of working harder and battling in the corners, which is making myself and Yoey's job a lot easier. And he knows that I'm always there, and he'll trust that I'll give the puck back to him, which is exactly what's going to happen, and vice versa with Yoey. So I think it's kind of just naturally evolved from those sorts of things and just getting used to playing with each other.
So it's been a bit of an interesting time for Darren Korstens, I suppose, because if we go back in the timeline, in the what was it, in 2013 and 2014, you were playing on Team Australia. Like, for some new fans, they're like, who's this guy? But for people that know, you were on Team Australia. So that's one thing. And then you played Adrenaline. Your last full season was 2017 or 16, one of those years. Yeah. And the next year you played one game and you said, just don't have the spark, not playing it. So I guess the first part is why just stop hockey when you were just, 26, 27 years old that first time around?
Yeah, I think for me it was probably twofold. I think you're right. The spark sort of ran out a little bit for myself for whatever reason, and off the back of that as well, I did have a couple of injuries here and there, which sort of put me out the game for a while, and I think that's kind of what forced me to stop playing. And it's been nearly 6 years now since I played any sort of high level hockey, and it's coming back I've had a lot of thought about why I'd want to come back and play, and the spark wasn't necessarily there straight away, but having that chat with Sammy and Greg at the start of the season, and just what their expectations of me potentially coming back would be, and they said, look, if anything, you've had the likes of Greg Oddie and Josh Harding and Huxley, as leaders and that type of experience over the years, and what they've given me. So if I could sort of grab some of that and soak that experience in and relay it to a team in any form, that was kind of the goal from the outset at the start of the season.
It's kind of weird, right? Because, I mean, last year, the last 12 months or 14 months now, it'd be a big rejuvenation in ice hockey, right? You had that COVID year and the Premier League was firing, but you weren't playing. And then the NHSL came along and that was packed, but you weren't playing. And then all of a sudden, you were just here. So when you were showing up for that first road trip in Melbourne, I remember having a great chat with you after, but when you were showing up for that first road trip in Melbourne, were you in your mind committed to the full season at the time, or was it you know what, let's see how the first couple weekends go and go from there?
To be completely honest with you, it's the thought went through early on. It happened before the season, so I wanted to be. I didn't want to commit and then flake out in the start of the season, and that's just not going to do anyone any favors. Like I mentioned, I had that chat with Sammy and Greggy at the start, and I said, look, I want to be fully involved and committed, and what do you expect of myself? And we had that candid chat, and off the back of that, there was a couple of things. I didn't know if I'd be fit enough or skillful enough to play, and I've been fortunate enough to be on the team, and I think yeah, look, the commitment was there from the outset, and how receptive everyone was of each other at the start of the season. New players coming in. Guys coming in from WA, young guys, old guys. I think, how receptive they were and the accountability that we started to form before the season, and that it was almost like a standard mentality, like we're setting a standard and this is the accountability of each other. And it didn't matter if you're old or young, it was always there. And I think from the outset, that was really appealing to me. And I think what started to relight the fire, and it was well before the start of the season, I could feel that sort of brewing. For the start of the season.
I guess you don't really know until it's all kind of in game action. And then we had that first weekend in Melbourne. We lost 2 games, but you were pumped at the airport after. It was like I could tell the spark was back. Did you feel that as soon as you were playing?
Yeah, well, look, like when you're playing with guys nearly half your age, it's just amazing to play with those guys. They kind of make you feel young again, and they bring a new life and a new energy to the game that I probably hadn't had for a while. And it definitely was back after that game, and I could feel it. And we lost those goals, we lost those games by 1 goal, and it was those little things. And I think we kept that accountability going. To the middle of the season, and those 1 goal games eventually started turning into, all of a sudden the 1 goal games were in our favor, and we started getting those W's in OT, and we're coming from behind and winning, and you could feel the tides changing. And it all comes from the first round and having that mindset, and before the season, it's just been fantastic.
Chips it off the boards. He's been playing defense for this Avalanche squad so far. Johan Levesque, left wing, walks in, fires a shot, scores! Joey Quebec down in a huge hit. Darren Corstens up on the next place, and Corstens scores! What a goal! Finds Riley down low, inside Riley scores! There it is! A big rebound down low, Friedrich, what a save! Get in front, tipped it behind, it goes on top of that, walk down, Adelaide scores! Adelaide scores!
By Robinson just to keep it out of his Sobchak, twisting, turning into the slot, score!
Speck, Sobchak, in tight, great goal, Owen Sobchak!
Alone. Oh my gosh, what a pass. What a pass.
Takes a shot, goes around, wrap around and scores.
Blues, their stringer save, what a close save, Nick Jones!
And by the old AIHL standards, now Kuleshov in behind the defense again, cuts in, and he scores!
Through the fireball! He's done it with 3.1 seconds! Kish backpedaling beautifully. What a shot by Kish! Holy moly, what a goalie! He's still within shot, scores! Oh, hail Kale! Kale
Hockey is made of many things. Of early morning practices and cold rinks. Sticks and skates. Fresh sheets of ice and scuffed boards. Of grit and guts. Passion and power. Performance and precision. It's made of crushing physicality and split-second agility. Of generation after generation of lacing up, raising the cup, and not once giving up. We've always been, and always will be, true to this game. And this game doesn't demand much, just everything you've got. CCM.
Well, I'm getting a little bit hot in here, Anton Goss, because this is just being turned up to another level here in Game 1 of the 2022 Walker Cup Final. This game has had great saves, it's had goals, it's had comebacks, it's had controversy. It's hard to take stock about everything that's gone on.
It's being played at a frenetic pace. It's just up and down, both teams, ebbs and flows. Before that goal, or disallowed goal from Johan Levesque, the energy was crazy in this place. The fans were going wild. I saw Jamie Burke in the crowd going nuts. And then all of a sudden it went all Adelaide Avalanche. It was just nuts. Those last 2 minutes, Jake Riley doing what he does, the speed to score that goal to tie the game was absolutely nuts. Look at this. Look at the speed he's going, hair flowing. And goal scorer's goal. You kids watching at home, you don't have to go top shelf. It's just over the pad, right? Just over the pad. Hardest place to save. Even the greats like Dane Davis can't stop that one.
Anton, I have a timestamp circled on my game notes in front of me, and it's 11:08 in the period. Now, if you're watching on YouTube and you want to go back and circle a moment, it was this time in the play. It was back and forth, up and down. On one end, Jeremy Friedrich dove across the crease to make an outrageous save. Adelaide scoops up the puck, goes the other way, and Dane Davis goes across the crease and makes a great glove save. It was end-to-end plays. Both teams pushing the pace offensively. Both teams having a star defenseman cutting off plays. Both goaltenders stealing the show. They're both Australian ice hockey royalty, it feels like right now. It has a little bit of everything. Now, what's going to break going into the final period?
Well, I think if you look at the ebbs and flows of the game, you know, the Ducks, they've got scoring prowess, right? They can score. They've got speed. They can easily play this track meet hockey, and they can get up. But the problem is playing that style is it feeds into the strengths of the Adelaide Avalanche. If you look at the times of the games where the Ducks were able to get the puck deep, forecheck, cycle it down low, and really cut off that space in the neutral zone, the Avs had nothing, and it seemed like it was all Ducks. So I think the Ducks should just say, as much as we've got the speed, as much as we've got the offense, let's play that truculent forecheck, that offensive pressure, and let's snuff out and not give Adelaide anything.
3 goal scorers from the Ducks. It's Hector Vrelnik and Liam Webster. They scored in the first period. Then Hayden Dawes. 3 different goal scorers. Johan Levesque, Jamie Woodman, and Jake Riley. 3 different goal scorers for the Adelaide Avalanche. Jake Riley with a 3-point night. Andrew Chen. Go look at your stat sheet at how many points number 17 Andrew Chen had in the regular season. He's got 2 in the grand final game 1 game today.
Yeah, big man player, hey? Doing an absolute great job out there. But you can really see the Adelaide Avalanche really buoyed by that mustache line, right? The mustache line is what they're doing. Johan Levesque, he spent quite some time at the end of that period talking to the officials. He'd feel like he was robbed on a goal. But, you know, when a guy gets a little bit under his skin, that's when you got to fear for them the most, because he's going to be hungry to pot one in the net.
You can't win a grand final in game 1 and period number 3, but you can certainly lose a grand final if events don't go your way. A massive 20 minutes coming up for both the Avalanche and the Ducks. Avalanche will start on the power play, and if you're a Ducks fan, you can think 2 things about this. You can think, oh, that's fine, the Avs have the worst power play in the competition, but tonight they're 2 for 3 and they've scored their first 2 goals on the power play, so a little bit of give what you can take. Well, those statistics say they're not going to score because they've already scored 2 tonight.
That's for sure. When you got the extra space, right, and you've got Woodman and Riley on the back end, you know, it always surprised me all season why the Adelaide Avalanche power play wasn't better. And we're starting to see in the preliminary final and then this grand final as well that maybe it just wasn't clicking just right. But here we go.
Adelaide starts period 3 on the power play for 1 minute and 45 seconds or less. Woodman chips this in behind his own goal, and he'll give chase. Plays this off dumps it behind for Johan Levesque, rather. Along the far boards, Jamie Woodman rattles this around the boards. It caroms onto the stick of Jake Riley. Chip back down low, goes off the skate of the official. Tied up Darren Corstens. Jake Riley plays it off the boards. Finally, it's cleared by the Melbourne Ducks and all the way down the ice. Adelaide had a 2-0 lead early, and the Ducks responded within minutes to erase that lead. And since then, this game has been so tight. Shots on goal, 27-25 for the Ducks. That's how close it's been. Woodman, sharp angle shot. Davis is going to see those all day. All of Adelaide's goals, other than that last Jake Riley one, have really been off rebounds and tip shots and making life difficult for the big, experienced goaltender.
Yeah, I mean, it's as a goalie, your job's to stop the first one. You hope not to give up the rebound. But if you look at the places that the Adelaide Avalanche are shooting, they're shooting at the pads. And I'll tell you what, it's not, you have no choice but to kick it out, right? So they're trying to feed in and understand that that's what you need to do to beat the Great Dane. But he's done a really great job so far, keeping them off with, as you mentioned, 24 saves so far.
Ducks were almost away, 2-on-1, shorthanded. Adelaide has allowed a couple shorthanded goals this season, mostly to the Ducks. And here's Vrelnik, creates a turnover, and he's going to find Ryan Ruddle. The Kiwi plays it back to Corey Stringer. Adelaide native, former Adelaide Adrenaline player, enters the zone and backhands this into the corner where Ryan Ruddle will give chase. Tom Sack plays it up towards Daniel Chen along the near boards. Chen cuts to the middle of the ice, looking for some sort of lane, and he'll take this all the way down low and gets steered all the way back along the half wall. Freeman, right side, Sack through traffic, big rebound in the slot, and the Ducks get a stick on it.
You talk about some of those Swiss Army knife players, you know, a guy like Zach Steele for the Avalanche playing offense and defense. You just saw there Corey Stringer taking a shift there on the back end. He's played half this season up front and half the season on the back. And you know what? I can't tell you which position I prefer seeing him. He's just so excellent at both.
He's a big body. He played defense for the Adelaide Adrenaline that 1 year he was there. But with the offensive zone face-off coming up now for the Melbourne Ducks, this should do it for the Adelaide power play. So they'll drop to 2 for 4 on the day, and Todd Cutter will get ready to come out of the box. The penalty he feels that he was unjustly in the box for. Draw 1 by the Ducks. They'll chip this forward. Jack Carpenter trying to hold the line and allow an offensive zone possession right away as Zach Steele will carry things out. He'll take it along the near boards all the way into the attacking zone. Stops, pops, fires, and Dane Davis, those nice pillows, swallow that up and say goodnight to that hockey puck.
And there's Joey McDougall just doing what he does best, his pesky self, giving a few little pushes and shoves after the whistle. You know, it's interesting, for a guy who can definitely score, he's yet to put the puck in the net here at Ice HQ, and I wonder if that's going to change at all during this Grand Final series.
Troy Robertson, another one of those guys that can play that truculent style of hockey. He's probably often overlooked on this Ducks team as one of the tougher guys on the team, but man, is he ever physical and can change a game too.
Yeah, he's really good at being smart with it as well. He doesn't often get a penalty for taking that extra liner. He's just very good at moving people, throwing the body, and protecting his teammates. And they had an interview with him a few weeks ago, and he said, he took some time away from hockey. He came back to the Ducks, and he views each and every one of these guys as his family, and he's got to protect his family, right?
That kind of sentiment is felt by a lot of players around the PHL this year in terms of coming back from hockey and finding a lot of joy in playing in the Pacific League. Big hit laid off again, and it's a chance for Brody Lindell. Backhanded play. Friedrich couldn't glove it down. A juicy rebound was there for Liam Webster, and it was almost disaster city for the Avalanche. Lindell hard on the forecheck, takes it away from Jamie Woodman, centering play off the skate of Hazel. Lindell rubbed off the puck from Jamie Woodman. Ducks are hollering from a call. They want a check from behind penalty. They're not going to get it. We'll get a look at the replay in a minute, and we can let everybody be the armchair expert coming up as this goes down for icing, and I'm sure we're going to get a look at it. Lindell was tied up. What do you think? Lindell here, this is where the moment was. It's been a good matchup all game, Woodman and Lindell. And that's just a hit on the side, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, look, it's a hit on the side. I think Brody, rather than a hit from behind, he might have been calling potentially for a boarding. It's a little bit off the side. I think where the refs are, I think that's fair. Playoff hockey, we maybe let that one go. But just before that play, that was a staple of Brody Lindell's play, where he gets the puck in, he cycles it down low, he's able to keep it away from the players and often draw a penalty, where he just was unfortunate not to draw one there.
He's only 16 years old, Brody Lindell. He's from Canada. I'm going to be scared to watch him play in 4 or 5 years from now. My goodness. Steve Best on the near wing. Enters the zone. Tom Sack going to the net. Rebound was there. Sack swung and missed. Rebound was at the feet of Noah Maley, and they couldn't hold on it. And that was just a panic move from the Ducks to say, get this puck out of here. Icing call.
Sometimes you have to do it, and that was Chris Drake trying to get off the ice, but linesman there caught him on, so he's forced back on the ice here. And they've got a little bit of a mismatch line out here, so we've got Ryan Ruddle, Todd Cutter, and Hayden Dawes, and Michael McMahon and Drake back there for the Ducks. But the Adelaide Avalanche will be hoping to win this face-off, which they do not.
McMahon on the far boards. Dawes tips it up to Ruddle. Up on the left side, looking for Todd Cutter. Andrew Chen, 2 assists tonight, gets there first. Noah Maley on the back check there in support. He finds Steve Best, who will come up the near wing. Tom Sack exploding ahead of him, but Michael McMahon cuts it off and plays it off to the flying Frenchman, Hector Vrelnek. Vrelnek to Ruddle, the Frenchman to the Kiwi, and the Kiwi sends the Australian Noah Maley. Nice bouncing puck, it was behind the goal. Oh. Jeremy Friedrich is kind of fighting the puck just a little bit in the early stages of this third period.
Yeah, but you know what? They don't ask how, they ask how many, right? And he's been making the saves, and that one just went out the back. But Adelaide will be going to the penalty. It was Zach Steele that just knocked the Ducks player off there, and he should be going there for an interference.
He is off for interference. Zach Steele, his first penalty of the game. Ducks 0 for 2 on the power play to start. They're on the man advantage for 2 minutes or less. They had back-to-back power plays in the first, nothing since then. Vrelnek makes a nice move, and he gets into the corner, and Jamie Woodman swallows him up, but the Frenchman jumps off him. Back behind the goal for Ryan Ruddle. Ruddle wedged away in the corner, still comes away with the puck. Couple defensemen stationed back of the blue line. There's McMahon, gives the pass back to the near boards. Ducks just trying to get possession, but it'll be Adelaide short-handed, and Darren Korstens will get in behind the defense. Adelaide scored a number of short-handed goals late in the season especially, and now they got their best penalty killer and Noah Maley back in the lineup after missing time with the Worlds. Daniel Chen's been pretty good too. He's upended a little bit. Now the Ducks will go away with numbers. Carpenter off, enters the zone. Ducks trying to set something up. Carpenter in front. Rebound is there, and the Ducks couldn't settle it down. A glorious opportunity, and the puck took one more skip in favor of Adelaide, and now they can clear the zone.
Got Todd Cutter, very unfortunate, not able to get his stick on there. Gaping net, but Adelaide...
Here's Dawes with some space, entering in tight, cuts in front, bouncing puck again, and Woodman might have just interfered with him enough, so Dawes couldn't get a clean shot. Lindell Off on the right point. Curls it back to Dawes. Along the half wall. Ducks the best power play in the competition at a man on the side of the net, and they couldn't settle the puck down either. Noah Maley turns, fires, and clears the length of the ice. Adelaide's killed off the first 90 seconds of the Ducks' third power play.
Yeah, great job there by the Ducks to get the puck in deep, but Adelaide just able to clear it through the seams, and that's 2 good clears now and another one for the Avalanche here, getting it down the length of the ice.
Adelaide on the verge of going 3 for 3 on their penalty kills unless the Ducks can go down the ice right now and score. And boy, can they ever with players like Brody Lindell. He's on a 4-game goal streak, cut off by Noah Maley. He dumps him to the ice and stays strong on the puck. Tries to lob it across. Adelaide had a player coming out of the box, and they were trying to settle down a puck. They almost were away. Next goal, needless to say, pretty important, and Adelaide gives one away. Lindell again, pesky, plays it off to the far boards for Schuma. Ties up with Andrew Chen, and he intercepts and plays it off the boards. Joey McDougall enters the zone, cuts center, cuts left, settling the puck down is Nathaniel Benson. Loose puck in the slot. Benson turns, fires. That one goes in the corner and kicked wide. McDougall looking for Jake Riley. Riley couldn't settle down the puck. Loose puck in the slot, and it's intercepted by Corey Stringer, but not out. Benson fires a shot on goal. That goes off a skate and into the neutral zone. Adelaide has to clear as Tashuma settles things down to Michael McMahon.
Adelaide are using their speed on the forecheck so well. What hand-eye coordination there by Daniel Chen.
Schuma intercepted by Daniel Chen again. Benson looking for Chen, finds Chris Drake. Kicked off the left side for Schuma. Plays it back towards Alex Koenig. This has been a really solid line for the Ducks in this game. You would have predicted that at the beginning, Anton. You told me that's what was going to happen. Now Adelaide in all alone. It's Benson with a man draped over him. Dane Davis, a big save again, rebound, and a second opportunity denied by the great wall of Dane Davis.
My Lord, Eric Ballner. What a save by Dane Davis. He's putting on a clinic.
This is on one end where Jeremy Friedrich made a big enough save just to tie the man up on the other end. It hasn't been as clean for Friedrich this period, but that was big to intercept. But on the other end, Dane Davis just took away a breakaway opportunity from Nathaniel Benson right here. And he got the second opportunity too. Dane Davis.
That's a stylish save right there.
He's made a few of those in this game. Zach Steele off the point. Plays it down low, looking for Darren Corsten. He's bumped off the puck, picked up by Jack Carpenter. Carpenter on the far side. Pokes it up to Schuma, finds Ruddle, cuts in the zone. He's got some space, tied up with his own player. Ruddle has a big rebound pop out, and Adelaide is there first. Jake Riley up the far wing, cuts towards the center of the ice, and Dane Davis gets down again and kicks it away. It's the Dane Davis show at Ice HQ.
Dane Davis is keeping his team in this game. Save after save on glorious scoring chances. Jake Riley with speed coming in, cuts through, and look at this kick save. And we talked about rebound control. Where does he put it? Right into the netting. He knew his team needed a change.
Sack couldn't control the play off the draw that Adelaide had won, and the Ducks are going to get an opportunity to clear, and Michael McMahon should have no problem doing that. Coughed up in the neutral zone, but still poked ahead by Ryan Ruddle. Freeman will swing and wrap this all the way around the boards, and Adelaide will chip this one not quite out at the blue line. Good job from the Ducks to keep it alive. Drop back looking for Hector Vrelnik, but he's intercepted by Andrew Chen, who will find Noah Maley up the wing. Maley with some speed, cutting towards the net. Maley has a bouncing puck in the slot. Davis searching for it, and he'll just lie flat on his belly and take away the Adelaide opportunity.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say about Dane Davis. He's keeping the Ducks in the game, but the speed of the Adelaide Avalanche and the athleticism. You heard Johan Levesque talk to Grace about it in between the first intermission. He said, we just need to keep playing our game as the game goes on. We believe we're the fittest team in the Pacific Hockey League, and we're starting to see some of that speed come out here late in the third.
8 shots to 4 for Adelaide in this third period, and Dane Davis has had to make 4 or 5 very difficult saves, including some on rebounds, some on breakaways, and some on just Adelaide exploding up the wing. If Melbourne scored the next goal, we know why. They've even had the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, it's great to see Brody Lindell back on the ice as well. A couple good shifts after taking that hit. But Trevor Leo was dumped heavily by Sack early in the second period. And I think now we're starting to see Corey Stringer play on that back end as Trevor Leo hasn't been on the ice for a while.
Almost a turnover in front, but the Ducks will clear it ahead. Brody Lindell was going up the middle of the ice. Adelaide bumps it in, and Dawes lays a hit, creates a turnover. Lindell can't find the puck. Benson plays it forward. Carpenter, backhanded play into the neutral zone. Dawes tips it to Lindell. Here's a chance for Liam Webster. Webster in on goal. It whistled in front of Friedrich and all the way back towards the center line for Carpenter. Corey Stringer now playing defense, moves the puck into the attacking zone. A man might have been a little bit offside, and the puck will come back in the neutral zone. But the Ducks starting to create some opportunities in space.
Yeah, we were talking about the speed of the Avalanche and how that was allowing them to get some chances, but that shift was truculence, baby, right? Couple great hits.
And Anton, make a wish.
I just wish this game keeps playing at this pace. This is one of the best shows of the season, and we've had front row seats.
Adelaide off the draw. Siemens has to settle it down. Gets it off, and Adelaide goes in 2-on-2. Riley drops it back to Korstens. Down low, rebound, bouncing puck. Steele fires one on goal, scores! Zach Steele makes it 4-3. It comes off the rebound. Dane Davis is saying the net was knocked off. But it's going to be called a goal.
100%. I mean, I get where Dane's coming from, but the puck was in the net regardless. But that all started with the mustache man, Jake Riley. He came in, he got the McMahon to step back, and he dropped that back up for Korstens. And an unlucky bounce actually came out there for Steele, who had a wide open net, and Dane Davis just wasn't able to get across with the blocker. And we've got a 4-3 hockey game.
Zach Steele was fired up after that one, and you could see on the replay the net was a little bit off, and maybe that's even Stevens for what's happened in the game, but I think Jake Riley might have an assist on this goal. Draw one by the Ducks. Here comes Brody Lindell. What response do the Ducks have? This gets tipped out of play. It's Steele's first one of the playoffs. Jake Riley gets his third assist. A goal and 3 assists for Jake Riley in this game. Draw comes to the right of Jeremy Friedrich. Tip back in behind the goal. Jamie Woodman plays this around. Daniel Chen cuts off to the left. Benson down the far side. Curled into the boards, tipped off the puck by Drake, and Drake will try to kick it towards Dawes, but Adelaide trying to cause all kinds of chaos behind the net. Chen picks it up in the corner. Chen's got Hazel at the point. He'll try to decide to curl it back behind the goal, and Joey McDougall will try to hunt this down, but McMahon slashes it forward, and McDougall intercepts. Chen off the boards once again. Plays it down low on the cycle to Nathaniel Benson. Benson bumped off the puck. Hayden Dawes plays it forward into the neutral zone, and Jamie Woodman will settle things down. Woodman with a goal and an assist in this game. Chen up on the left side, plays it in behind the goal. But Jake Riley, the story here. 4 goals for Adelaide, and Jake Riley has a goal and 3 assists. Is that good?
Not bad. Not bad. He's been really great with the speed, but I think, everyone always talks him as a goal scorer, but the ability to just stop and make that pass, just absolutely brilliant by the man they call the Mustache Man.
He had 24 points in his last 10 games, Jake Riley. He turned his game to another level, and he's done it again in the playoffs. He had a hat trick in the preliminary final and 4 points in game 1 of the grand final. Regardless of outcome of this game, Jake Riley's done his part for Adelaide. Adelaide trying to hold the line. Noah Maley tips it forward. Corey Stringer plays it up towards Ryan Ruddle. Hector Vrelnick trying to hunt it down. Intercepted by Jordan Freeman. Plays it off into the neutral zone. Tom Sack absorbs a big hit, and Adelaide will keep this back in their own goal. Last 10 minutes of the game. Adelaide scored the first 2. The Ducks the middle 3, and Adelaide the last 2.
Nice catch there by Hector Vrelnick.
The Frenchman's already scored a key goal this game. Can he find another one to get his team right back in it? Vrelnick all the way behind the goal. No one can bump him off the puck, and he cycles all the way to the offside of the rink. Adelaide sending numbers back, trying to take the puck away, but the Ducks keep it alive through traffic, and Friedrich makes the big glove save. Adelaide out shooting the Ducks in this period now, 10-5.
Yeah, tough one there. If you look at that, the net does come off, but I think the puck was already in the net or on its way, and as per the rules, unfortunately for Dane Davis, that's in. But you look at this shift. Todd Cutter makes 4 hits. 2 there in front of the Ducks bench, and then came down the other way, as you mentioned, and where Sack absorbed that. I think Pat's telling the Ducks, we got to pick up that physicality.
Drake through traffic. That's tipped all the way back. It's kept in from the Ducks. Great second effort, and Adelaide will play it to the neutral zone. McMahon chips this forward into the corner. Hayden Dawes going after it, but Jamie Woodman, who's been matched up against him all night long. Dawes only with the 1 goal so far, but still lots of time. Webster kicks one through, and it's steered aside. Adelaide trying to clear the zone. Ducks have really ramped up the intensity. Puck jumps in front of Johan Levesque. Michael McMahon is there first, and he curls this to the corner, and he'll bank it off the boards and out. Brody Lindell tied up, and it's tipped in front of Jeremy Friedrich. That man, Jamie Woodman, might be on the ice for 5 of these last 8 minutes. Jake Riley with speed through the neutral zone again. Riley banks it off the boards. He's intercepted by Ryan Ruddle, but Adelaide keeps it alive, but back there first is Drake. Cleared alongside the near boards. Korstens caroms this around the goal. Dane Davis, he's been excellent in this game so far. Adelaide's really only scored on him off of rebounds and second chance opportunities, and they have 1 more goal than what the Ducks have. Is Anton, first games of the season, you were there, you were calling these games. Adelaide in similar positions in those games, but the Ducks' veteran experience beat a team that hadn't won a game in 1,300 days, and Adelaide just didn't know how to win. The test is really well and truly now, can Adelaide close out a game? What has this young team learned?
Look, they've learned how to work within the styles, right? You know, when they get their opportunities, they're taking it. They're changing on the fly. They're really wearing down this Ducks team.
Loose puck in tight again, and Dane Davis swats out the glove.
And it's really working for them. I mean, I think you're right. I'm watching this game, and I remember being here, and it really feels like that very first game of the season. And Adelaide did get ahead there in the third. They used their speed, they used their youth, they used their athleticism, but the Ducks found another gear. The question that Pat McMahon would have to have for his players as he looks down on the bench, who's going to take that next gear for the Melbourne Ducks? Because right now it's all Adelaide.
A long way to go. Adelaide tips this one down low. Circling back behind the goal is Nathaniel Benson. Zach Steele chips it off the line. That's blocked by Hector Vrelnik. Tries to lead Ryan Ruddle ahead. And Jared Siemens plays it off the boards, but it's intercepted by Vrelnik again. McMahon off the wing. Finds Ruddle. This line's turned it up as well. Ruddle, sharp angle shot, and Friedrich gloves it. Well, look, Anton, I was having a good chat with some people before the game, and a couple people told me they felt like this was a race to 5 goals in this game. Whoever got to 5 first would win it, and honestly, that's probably what it is.
You're right. I mean, you definitely feel the way these two teams have been playing that this isn't over.
There's another goal here.
There's another goal, maybe 2. You never know, and as Carl says, we're nearing the witching hour that we like to call Dawes time. You know, when we hit that 2 minutes remaining, Dawes, that's when he does his best work.
Friedrich kicks one into the corner, and that one goes out. You're absolutely right, Anton. How many clutch goals have you called Hayden Dawes score this year?
Too many to count. 20, 26, 27.
24 of them?
You know, 25, I guess what you call this house. Yeah, 24, but we got the 25th, but none bigger than the 2 that happened here the first weekend. The first one to win it, and the other one to tie it here against Adelaide.
And those were close games. If Adelaide wins those games by 1 goal, they're actually the minor premiers in the season. The Ducks win those 2 games. Turns out they were the most important games of the season. We just didn't know it then.
Exactly.
Ducks grinding behind the corner. Michael McMahon working against Steve Best. Best gets there first, but McMahon forces them to retreat and almost creates a turnover. Adelaide can't clear. Ducks with second life, and Friedrich gloves that down. Ducks getting some forward pressure. That's how Adelaide scored their goal.
I'm telling you now, Eric, Jeremy Friedrich is not going to get beat if you just shoot a puck from the blue line and let him see it the entire way. He's too good a goalie. The Ducks either got to get him moving side to side or they got to get traffic in, because this kid, he's on.
Webster coming in for a key draw versus Darren Korstens. 2 players that played on the national team together at one time. Hazel can't clear the zone, kept in from Carpenter. Ducks have the puck squirt free, and Adelaide will lob this ahead, and Jake Riley could be in behind the defense, but Corey Stringer, maybe a goal-saving poke check on the mustache man. Darren Korstens in the mustache line, go back to work. Riley has it in the corner, tries to find Johan Levesque in the slot. Corstens keeps it alive. Stringer, backhanded play off the far boards, but not out. Jake Hazel keeps it alive, and the Ducks will intercept and go the other way. Lindell lobs it ahead. Woodman again has Hayden Dawes in his pocket right now. Woodman skates this into the attacking zone. Adelaide's got to be careful off of the rushes from this point forward. Woodman back behind the goal, and Corey Stringer will play this off for Michael McMahon. McMahon has a man all over him. Adelaide creates a turnover. Levesque back behind the goal. Corstens in the slot, and a stick, I think, from Michael McMahon might have just deflected a great scoring opportunity away for Adelaide.
That is the safety net of Michael McMahon. A crazy scoring opportunity aimed for that top right corner, top left corner, if it weren't for the stick of the Melbourne Ducks captain.
Big rebound. Adelaide couldn't find a stick on it, but on the near boards, Daniel Chen is there first. Curls back, tips it to the point. Ducks could be away 2-on-1 here. Chen trying to get it, and it is a 2-on-1 break, but Cutter couldn't settle down the puck, and they entered maybe offside. Oh my goodness, the Ducks. You thought they were away in numbers, and Cutter can't believe it. Under 6 to go, though. Adelaide has outshot the Ducks 13-9, I think, in this period.
The clock is your friend now if you are the Adelaide Avalanche. Every precious second that drips away is one step closer to the first win of the Pacific League.
Benson coming in one-on-one. He's looking for someone. He'll cut to the net. Benson down low, and again, Michael McMahon played it perfectly. Defensive clinic from McMahon, and the Ducks were almost away with numbers once again. 5 minutes to go in Game 1 of the Walker Cup Final. Here comes Daniel Chen. He's got Benson with him. One-timer. Rebound was there, and Davis cleared it aside. Freeman off the point. Chips it back down low. Grabbed by Benson, and Michael McMahon again cuts him off. He's so strong, and he's carried it out of the zone, and dishes to the off wing for Vrelnik. Dropped off for Cutter. Cutter with an angle. Rebound is there. Friedrich kicks it aside. Kept in by Stringer once again. Both teams searching for the puck. Adelaide pokes it forward, and a big hit laid over at the opposition blue line. Corey Stringer knocks it down. 4:20 to go in the period. The final period. Adelaide scored the only goal of the third to give themselves a 4-3 lead. But you know the Ducks surge is coming. These Ducks are quacking. They're ready to fly. Webster chucks one on net with 4 minutes to go, and Friedrich elects to play it back behind the goal. Now Adelaide has to clear the zone, and it's tipped in and kept by Carpenter. Ducks trying to keep this forecheck alive. Under 4 minutes to play. Ducks back to the point. Carpenter, loose puck in front. Rebound is there. Ducks try to gather it. Adelaide ties up that shot on net. Lindell robbed by Jeremy Friedrich. Lindell chases his own rebound. Noah Maley there in support, and finally Adelaide will clear the zone. Although a great back check from Brody Lindell, who knocks it in to the zone. Stringer kicks it forward to Dawes. Dawes will backhand this in behind the goal and go off for a change, and Jeremy Friedrich wants a stoppage in play with 3:23 to go and some serious pressure being mounted by the Ducks.
Oh, look at that sign up there in the crowd. Caution, Dawes may slam suddenly. So 3 minutes remaining. The Ducks have had their chances. Couple really good opportunities, but Jeremy Friedrich got in the way. And Pat McMahon, with 3 minutes here remaining in the third period, is going to bring in the Ducks and just bring them in and have a little chat and see what they can do to chip away at this lead.
I hope everybody's enjoyed this game. It's had some great goals, great scoring opportunities, some controversy, and some great goaltending. That's what you want in a hockey game. You want good goaltending, you want some good scoring chances, and you want a good tight game at the end. And that's exactly what we have between these two teams. Adelaide scored 2 power play goals in the first 5 minutes of the game. They were up 2-0. Quick response by the Ducks, and by the 12-minute mark, it was back to 2-2. Hayden Dawes scored with 9:53 to go in the second to put them up 3-2. Jake Riley tied it with a couple minutes left before Zach Steele has right now the go-ahead goal at the midway point of the third period. That's where we stand, but the most important 3:23 of the game about to start right now.
So the Ducks will come out here with this line, and they've been good. Vrelnik, Ruddle, and Cutter. And I would imagine that's to save that Lindell, Dawes, and
Adelaide can't clear. Loose puck off the draw. Friedrich down low. Big rebound in the slot. It's Ruddle that gets a shot and it was blocked in front of the net. Chaos as Adelaide failed to clear. Finally, it'll be lobbed to safety by Johan Levette, but Michael McMahon, who might be on for 3 minutes of these last 3 minutes. Hector Vrelnik loops around in his own end. Poked forward by Darren Corstens, and it's a turnover. Corstens down low, but again, Michael McMahon cuts him off and takes the puck away. A defensive clinic from McMahon and Woodman, both tonight, just like we expected, to the shock of nobody.
That's for sure. And we're about to hit into Dawes time here. 2 minutes and 42 seconds left. But the Ducks will really hope to pressure the Avalanche here and get the puck deep and really force some traffic in front of Jeremy. He's had a hell of a period.
McMahon all the way around the corner. Shots now mounting 39-37 in favor of the Avalanche. Adelaide lead, though, the most important category. That's the goals one here in game one. Riley tips it forward. He was looking for Joey McDougall. Ryan Ruddle plays it back behind the goal. Ducks will get a change. Woodman plays it around the boards, but not out. Kept alive by Ruddle. Ruddle throws one on net, and Jeremy Friedrich swallows that puck up. And now there's just 2 minutes and 9 seconds to go. And the Ducks will be loading up, you'd figure, from this point forward.
Yeah, I mean, what you're going to look here, you see the guys on the point that they're going to try to set up an opportunity for Carpenter to get a shot through traffic. I would imagine Webster's going to stand in the front there. Dawes is going to sit over on the half wall, and they're going to let Brody go to work down low.
Off the draw, Hayden Dawes, that big body, keeps the puck in the attacking zone. Adelaide fans will be waiting with bated breath back in South Australia, hoping to come to the party in Melbourne with their team with a chance to win. The Ducks looking to force overtime. If it does go to overtime, it's just 5-on-5 until somebody scores. We could be here until Saturday. Ducks play this forward. Dawes has a little bit of space. He'll cut to the middle of the ice, kicks it to himself, knocked away from Jamie Woodman, but still gets a shot on goal. Carpenter tips it forward. The goalie is pulled. Adelaide trying to find the winner. Daniel Chen plays it into the attacking zone. Icing will be waved off. McDougall off the boards. Throws it around the corner. Daniel Chen picks it up. Ducks trying to play lockdown defense as Michael McMahon has assumed the position of goalie. Carpenter plays it forward. Was that Adelaide's chance to close the game? They couldn't find that shot on net. Now the Ducks will go up the other end of the ice. They play it in front of the boards. Tipped forward by Hayden Dawes and in behind the goal where the Ducks will try to live for the rest of this game. Webster working down in the corner. Kick to Hector Vrelnik. Dawes on the side, goes upstairs, and Jeremy Friedrich makes a big save on the big man.
Frenetic play, and as you said, the Adelaide Avalanche did have that chance with the empty net. But a great job by the Ducks to stop that now. With 50 seconds left, they've had their timeout. Guys are a little bit tired, and you saw Hayden Dawes right there, had the opportunity, but Jeremy Friedrich, great job just to close up there on the post.
If you're a Ducks fan, this clock is moving all too fast. If you're an Avalanche fan, this clock is going painfully slow. Biggest draw of the game right here. Webster wins it cleanly. McMahon on the near point, dumps it back down low. Adelaide lays a hit and they can have a chance to clear it. They'll chip it into the neutral zone. It goes off a stick, so icing is waved off. No, it was not touched, so it is called icing with 40 seconds to go.
Yeah, that's right there. Nice try. I mean, McMahon tried to keep it in, and I think that's where there was the confusion whether or not it
might have been over a stick, yeah.
It had been touched, but with the clean miss there, it goes down the rest of the ice. Big face-offs here. You see the Ducks keep changing the forwards, but Liam Webster always the man on the dot. Arguably the best face-off man here in the Pacific Hockey League.
Huge draw coming up. Webster taking it versus Darren Corstens. And Adelaide ties him up at the center line. They can't clear the zone. Dawes back to the left point with the empty net. McMahon chips it to Dawes, plays it back for Hector Vrelnik. Vrelnik off to Dawes. Dawes fires one on goal. Loose puck up in front. It was a bouncing puck. Jeremy Friedrich didn't know where it was. Hazel on the off wing, chips it forward. Puck bounces all the way down. It won't be icing. 20 seconds to go. One last opportunity for a rush for the Ducks to try to force overtime. Webster, left side, they've got some space. Ruddle, centering play, looking for Levesque. It's kicked to himself. Seconds peeling off. Time for a shot. McMahon from the point. It's blocked in front of the net. Loose puck in front. What a block.
Jake Riley.
Jake Riley has 4 points, a goal and 3 assists, and a crucial shot block, but he is not in good shape as Adelaide wins game 1. And the teams will head to the dressing room, and the cup will be in the building on Saturday, and Adelaide has a chance to win. But this is cause for concern with their best player down on the ice.
That was a playoff performance like no other by Jake Riley, but he put his body in the front of that and stopped a crucial opportunity right off the skate. And I'll tell you, I've faced a couple shots from Scotty Stringer before, and he really can send a howitzer. So I really hope the mustache man is all right.
He's still down on the ice. So a little bit of a bittersweet moment for a lot of these Adelaide players. And he took a rocket off the foot, but Jake Riley, probably the player of the game for Adelaide, a goal and 3 assists. And that crucial shot block at the end of the game. And that will be the cause for concern. But Anton, 39 shots to 39 on the scoreboard. There's not much between these teams at all. We said that both of these teams could bring their best, and I think that's what they've done in this game. I think the Ducks have another gear that Adelaide's going to have to be prepared for on Saturday, but what a contest.
Yeah, definitely. I think you really saw the strengths of both teams on display. When the Avalanche had time and space, and when this man, Jake Riley, when he was able to attack the neutral zone, they were nearly unstoppable. If it weren't really for some amazing saves by Dane Davis, this could have got out of hand some partway through that the beginning of that third period. But the Ducks, they have a lot to look at. Obviously, they would have hoped to be ahead, but very little to separate the teams, and they'll just go back to the drawing board, reset, and hopefully we're up for another exciting game just like this come Saturday.
39 shots on goal that Jeremy Friedrich faced, and a lot of them in the third period, 12 of them in the third period. Jeremy Friedrich fought the puck a little bit early in that period, but he got there. Let's head down to the ice ringside. Joey McDougall is with Grace.
Joey, thanks for joining us. Now, the crowd tonight was really loud, but of course they were mostly in favour of the home team. Does that affect you at all?
I mean, usually whenever we get out on the ice, if I'm on the ice for a shift, you don't really hear too much. You kind of go tunnel vision and everything zones out, but you definitely hear it while you're on the bench and in between periods, so it's always nice to have that home ice advantage when you can get the crowd behind you and get a little bit of energy from them.
And I'm sure we'll see more of the Adelaide fans here on Saturday. Now, looking forward to Saturday, how do you recover after a really physical game like that?
We usually get into the dressing room, we get undressed pretty quick, do a bit of mobility with our physio. It's helped us a lot all year, and then tomorrow it's a little bit of relaxing, a bit more recovery. The guys usually just get around each other, hang out, nothing too crazy, and usually have a nice team dinner, and then get ready to get after it on Saturday.
Awesome. Well, good luck for the rest of the league series.
Well, Anton, we've got some final stats rolling into this period. The shots were pretty even in that, or the hits rather, were very even in the last period, but the Ducks controlled the face-off circle. 47 wins to 29 losses. They were a little bit more physical of a team. They controlled the pace of the play, but Adelaide just scored those crucial goals when it mattered the most.
Yeah, you know, the Adelaide Avalanche waited and waited and waited, and waited as in WADE. They waited in the Starks, waiting for their opportunities to be able to pounce. And when they had them, and when the ice started to tilt in their favor, they really had the opportunity to capitalize. The Ducks, as I mentioned there early in the second, they really got to look at a way to stop stretching the game out. When the game starts getting open, they start going end to end. They really sort of trade 50-50 chances with the Adelaide Avalanche, whereas when they're able to get the puck deep, cycle it, it's more 70-30 for the Ducks. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Jake Riley. The Adelaide Avalanche are a very different team without him in the lineup. And for all us fans and for us watching, I really hope he's here Saturday, because the Pacific Hockey League deserves a star like Jake Riley.
Adelaide scored the first 2 goals. The Ducks responded with 3, but Adelaide, importantly, scored the last 2. They turn the tides and win Game 1 4-3. They're 1 win away from the Walker Cup, and the Ducks will look to even the ledger on Saturday afternoon. Well, on behalf of everybody from Spacequake Sports that put on this great production, all those angles today, thank you very much. Gossy, know it was a bit of a different role for you today, but thank you so much. Great job as always, mate.
Beautiful. Thanks, Eric. Had an absolute blast. And thank you to all the volunteers here at Ice HQ that helped make this game absolutely amazing.
Big thanks to Carl Brewer for all the prep that he got us going with the commentary duties. We'll see him in the booth on Saturday. Adelaide win this one 4-3, 48 hours away from a big hockey game with the Walker Cup in the house. We'll see you then.